bringing sexy back.
Elisen. A whole other baby? What are you talking about? A whole other baby. We just birthed a baby and you are talking about having a second baby. Hi. Happy end of January, everyone. This is insane work. Dante, I can't believe you are late for duty. I went downstairs to answer the door. Did you get takeaway? Hi. Hi, everyone. This feels so weird. Every time I go like a full week without streaming, it's just it's not that it's hard to get back into it, but once I'm here, it's really hard to like initiate it. But then once I'm in a groove, I'm in a groove. But I missed you all so much. First and foremost, I have been self-cancelled because I lied to you guys. I did not end up streaming on Sunday. I'm really sorry, guys. It was sad girl January vibes, and I we had other plans, and the plans were I don't remember. Hi, no. Well, let me go around the room. You look so good, thank you. We don't talk about how I botched my bangs. We don't we don't talk about it. We don't. Had I cut my bangs on? No. Okay, here's how it went. Um, I had a breakdown on Saturday evening after stream. Do you guys remember? I didn't have my bangs on the Saturday stream. And that's because stream ended and I had a breakdown and I cut my bangs after stream. Isn't life so funny? Okay, let me go around the room. Dwayne, not only thank you so much for what? 16 months. Do you guys think 6-7 will not be a thing when someone reaches 67 months of being subbed? I think that would be crazy. I don't know if 6-7 will still be a thing. Thank you everyone for the banana collectors. Dante, how'd you have 104? Maisie, thank you for claiming second. Hi, my love. And no, you're back at the podium. You were back last week. How have you guys been? How's your weeks been? Are you guys glad that today is the last day of January? Is anyone else glad that January is like going to fuck itself in the ass? And then we just need to see January next year. We will not be seeing January until next year. And that is my out of this week, that's my favorite thing. It's the fact that we are saying goodbye. We are saying goodbye to January. I'm not gonna miss January. Fuck January. Fuck January. Hi, Hoshi. Hello. Again, number one. Congrats on getting number one, my love. Very well deserved. Very well. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for your 12th banana collector. I'm sure you would have had more. But that's okay. Fuck January. How was everyone's? Give me a TLDR of your guys' months. The amount of patience it takes me not to lose my absolute shy when my class says 6, 7. Context, Maisie is a teacher. Do they actually say that a lot? Hi, C, thank you so much for your banana collector. 6, 7. No, you're just lucky Zoe isn't here. You are just lucky because I cannot be ours to go into moderator mode. This does not mean that you guys get to act recklessly, okay? Because if one of you starts acting recklessly, I will turn mod on. Mod. Where is Zoe? I think she's probably busy. She's had a full week. I'm pretty sure. I think we hanged out. We hanged out on Sunday. I don't know. She's busy. Well. There you go. You guys can't see it, but I think someone is here. I think someone is here to say hi. Hi, Cuppy. Oh my god, 87. You are close. My love, you are close. You are close. Well, no. You manifested that. Hi, Zoe. Hello, my little pumpkin. How are you? Hello, my darling. How are you and our child? Do you guys hear that outside? A beep is going off. There's a beep going off. Is that me? No, it's a car. Good morning. I was just like, good morning, and then I read the rest of your phrase. Cuppy, you have to remind me, who's the child? I don't remember. Is it egg roll? Is it egg roll? Hi, egg roll. I do not remember our child. I've just woken. Well, hello, rise and shine. You're gonna suffer tonight. Maybe not. Maybe you'll sleep through. Hetty. Oh, it was Hetty. No, you're forgetting Hetty. Well, she's been very enticing as a Hoover. That feels very weird, given that's my child. But she's been a very good Hoover. Work was really quiet, so in between breaks, do not sue me. I did my job. Boss, please don't sue me. I did a really good job this week. First yeah, I do think I have a pattern of forgetting my children. Oh my gosh, that's just you guys like me like that. Stop that. You guys find it funny. Don't you find it funny? Conda definitely doesn't find that funny. He's ignoring my messages too. Hi, Recti. New Hoover. New Hoover. I think our child is very well. Yeah. There you go. Hi, Hetty. Here's our child. Cuppy. Here's our child. Here's our child. There you go. She's well and healthy. Should you wish to provide with Pampers and what do you call them? So, should you wish to provide nappies for my and Cuppy's child, and by nappies I mean Hoover bags, it's up on my throne because I haven't bought more. I still need to buy. What model is that? It's Hetty. Oh, I don't know what Hetty model it is. I genuinely do not know. It's just a normal one. Wait, I missed Hoshi's message. How was your Friday, Dolce? Did you find the gym less busy? So here's the funny thing. You have been nominated. You are now my new. So here's a funny thing. I did not go to the gym yesterday. So I went. So now I have to go through. I went today, and I'll have to go tomorrow too. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I've been a little bit sad girl vibes, all too well, sad girl autumn vibes, kind of like thing. So I just. Okay, chill out, girl. What, girl? Bridgerton came out. Singles Inferno came out. I have so much. Is anyone else watching Bridgerton? All too well. What a song. Whoa, what a song. I woke up and both Bobby and Lily had snuggled to me on the bed. Oh, do you want to take a picky? I still have to. No spoilers, because Twitter made sure I got spoiled. I mean, I've already read the books. 98. But we celebrate by 69s. So it's 69. You've already celebrated your 69th banana. And now we're looking forward for the 169th banana. And you get, I think, a sub and pin of shame. Yes, no, no. Yeah, well, keep claiming your bananas. You might get something. Well, no, no, just got timed out. Do you ever think with the amount of does it ever happen if no gets timed out so many times, if we raid out to someone else, will she appear as a suspicious user if I have like a shared thing? I really hope not, because no is a good egg. Can we celebrate me when I reach 6-7? Well, you have a lot of bananas to collect, and I'll think about it. It's okay. Let's ignore my message. Oh, we shall ignore your message, Hoshi. We shall. Today the gym was quite busy for a weekend, especially at lunchtime. It was really busy. I was a little bit shooketh. And then I swapped an exercise for my triceps, so I was doing tricep extensions, which is like you grab a dumbbell, you carefully do it like carefully put the dumbbell, and then you just do it. I have my headphones on, but you have to hold the dumbbell like this up in the air, and then you just have to let your arm slide down, like go down. But you need to make sure that your arm doesn't like do this. It has to stay in place like has to stay in place. Oh my god, has to stay in place like this. It can't like do this. It has to stay in place like this, right? So I swapped that exercise because I have really flimsy wrists, and I upped my weight last week to 10 kilos, which is around 22 pounds. So I upped for that exercise. I upped it to 10 kilos, and my wrists were and my shoulder as well were slowly or rapidly actually giving up. They were rapidly giving up on me. Like my shoulder was cracking so when I was doing this movement. So it probably a sign that my shoulder can't really take the dumbbells, the 10-kilo dumbbell singular. So I had to swap it for this exercise, which you do at the machine, and it's kind of like this one. Oh shit, this one. It was hell. What cracking? Yeah, it's not a good thing. I probably just didn't warm up enough. But it can be a sign that there are certain exercises that once you reach so when you want to target a certain muscle, you'll typically have different exercises that you can do. And when you're doing tricep extensions, you're also depending on the gravity. So the gravity adds more difficulty to the movement. And it just there are certain exercises that certain people like people can't do. For example, I can't do lunges. I can't do like lunges, like well. Look who's here. I can't do this one because of my fucking knees. I have really bad knees, but I can do Bulgarian squats. Bulgarian squats, you put your leg on the bench, you kind of like incline your body, and you just do this with the weights. I can do that one. That one is fine. I don't know why. It is what it is. And I think it's the same for the tricep extensions. I've reached a certain dumbbell weight that my shoulder can't take up right now. So I had to swap exercises. But let me tell you, I only when I swapped it for I just wasn't able to. I just wasn't. Ajika, hello. How are you doing? Welcome in. Thank you for the lurk and thank you so much for the follow the other day. I really appreciate it. Start saying you were abandoned. My son abandoned me. My son abandoned me. He did well. He just replied. He's addicted to Hertopia. I'm gonna do my Hertopia dailies first. He's doing his Hertopia dailies first. Oh, for fuck's sake. Never did such a thing. Yes, you did. You forgot about me. It took you hours to reply. I messaged you back. You messaged me at 35 minutes past midnight saying reminding me of drive season, and I replied to you a minute later, and I told you I would be streaming, and then I'll message you, and you just ignored me. So I'm doing the thing that you are doing. Conchi said you were ignoring her. I did say that. Did I miss anything in chat? Actually, Zoe and Dolce, I'm gonna put you guys in my cult so I can marry. Are you playing Cult of the Lamb? Oh my, everyone is playing Cult of the Lamb. What? Someone fill me in. What happened? Is there an update? Queen is play. I'm a cultist in Cult of the Lamb on Queen's cult. Who else? I don't remember who else. Hollies, because I did the thing, I think. Who else? I don't know. What happened? Everyone is playing Cult of the Lamb, and I love it, but I'm kind of interested too. Girl, I'm a little bit sick, but I'm sorry, darling. Is it like flu? I hope you feel soon. So, if obviously, please lurk if you need to. Go rest, drink a lot of water, and don't forget to eat, my love. Sending you hearts. Where was I? Yeah, I just see a lot of people playing Cult of the Lamb. Queen is playing it. I'm a little bit psycho in Queen's Island. Where's Queen? What time is it for Queen? Probably like 4 a.m. And it's interesting. Unless that's not what Cuppy was talking about. I don't know. Did I miss anything in chat? I'm going to watch it when second part will be out too. Yeah, I should have done that. But the thing is, Twitter was context. We're talking about Bridgerton. I was just going through Hoshi's messages. And it's nearly 6 a.m. for Queen. So she should be here soon. What was I saying? Yeah, I should have done that. I should have waited for part 2, but at the same time, I kept getting spoiled on Twitter because I wanted to check Love and Deep Space updates. Oh, there was going to be a Caleb rerun. I am well chuffed with that. So let me turn you to here. I kind of like, is that okay? Is that too much? Maybe I could center it a little bit. Yeah, anyways, everyone is playing Cult of the Lamb, Hertopia, and I'm just here trying to survive through work. I've been so busy with work, but the queues are calming down. I have calmed down, fortunately, but I'm going to the office 3 to 4 times a week. I've just been so busy, and the last week of January hit me like a truck. And fortunately for me, and unfortunately as well, Singles Inferno, if you don't know, it's one of my favorite dating shows. It's a Korean dating show, and it can be interesting. We don't talk about season 4, though. We don't talk about season 4. Super addicted to Singles Inferno. And obviously Bridgerton came out, and I was getting spoiled on Twitter, so I didn't have any other option than to watch it instead of waiting for part 2. I don't understand why Netflix is dividing that shit. I really don't. Also because it makes no sense. Usually they'll do that so you like renew. But they are releasing both parts within less than a month. So people, if new people are subbing, they're not going to be subbing because you're releasing both parts in less than a month. So you're not going to get the price of 2 subscriptions per people. So why not release both parts together? It's just release the fucking show. It's 8 episodes. I'm having the same problem with TikTok. Luckily, I'm too busy and working Well done. Look at you. Look at you. You got that thesis done, darling. You got that thesis written. But I definitely recommend Singles Inferno as well. I just think their dating culture, obviously, it's so different, and it's a show, and yeah, there will be scripted parts, but the way dating in Korea, Lynx. No, it's not. We're gonna jinx it. I forgot to disable that. How are you, Lynx? I need to disable that. Um. Yeah, dating in like the dating culture in Korea is just so interesting because it's so different. It's so different. They full on are always asking, "What's your type?" and Ricky. No, we're going to jinx it for Zoe. It's not her birthday anymore. I'm going to refund you guys. No, I disabled the wrong one. Oh my god. I disabled the wrong one. Guys, stop that. Bad Recti, bad Lynx. Recti, how have you been? Lynx, how have you been? How's your week? But I want to hear Elmo. Oh, why are you doing this to me? Do you hate me? Is that what's happening? You hate me. Is that what's happening? You hate me. Is that it? Pretty. And did you say that Lynx, how'd you I have an idea. Who the fuck is cursing me? The Lynx and Recti redeemed the sing happy birthday for Zoe, but it's not your birthday anymore. You're gonna get jinxed. I have an idea. Should I learn how to sing, with Zoe's permission, should I learn how to sing the Romanian version of Happy Birthday for Lynx, and then I'll sing Elmo. Lynx. Okay, now. Well, Zoe, I'm refunding those two. I'm refunding it. Let me refund that. Let me refund that. Wait. I'm refunding. No. Wait, what? No? Good Lord, I meant no to Lynx. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Lynx, when's your birthday? When's your birthday? There you go. I've refunded you guys. When's your guys' birthday? 14th of May. You're a Taurus like me. I didn't know you could get jinxed. Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, curse Lynx. I'm not going to do that. I've just met Lynx. They seem like such a nice folk, too. I don't want to do that. They introduced the Romanian national anthem to me, and it's a banger. I don't want to jinx. I don't want to jinx you. I don't want to jinx Lynx. Jinx Lynx. Oh my god. I didn't know you could get jinxed. Yeah, you can. I guess you can. May the 14th be with you. Wait. It's a Star Wars thing, May 4th? I thought it was June 4th. No, that's not it, Frankie. Is it July 4th or June 4th that is the American thing? I don't know anymore. Never heard of jinxing because of it's kind of like wishing someone a happy birthday the day before or the day after. No, it's more the day before. It's a bit jinxy. Can I say that word? May the 4th. Robin! May the 4th. Yeah, isn't May the 4th that is the Star Wars thing? Robin, I miss you. I'm throwing you something. I was eating chocolate and I'm throwing you the chocolate thing. I miss you. Oh, I didn't reply to you on Slack, did I? I'm sorry. Forgive me. May the 4th be with you. How are you, Pumpkin? I miss you. I love you. It's so lovely to have you here. Before I lose my sanity. You in the office on Monday? Yeah. Like always. Oh my god, you're gonna be in on Monday. Oh my god. Sly, how have you been? Okay, I can't wait for Kondu because he forgets about me. Of the woman that loves you, give me just a chance. Lay you down till the sound of my voice will haunt you. I am here. Well, someone seems excited. Never get away from the sound. Are you doing something this weekend, Robin? Does anyone have plans this weekend? Also, I hope the sound is okay. I'm fucking tired. I'm on day 2. You are working this weekend. I remember it. We did see each other on that meeting. Oh my god, guys, Robin and I were in a meeting. Oh, Robin, did you watch that? Oh no, I don't think you were in the meeting at that point. Oh, I embarrassed myself, guys, in front of like 25 people, including the head of my department. Because I decided to speak out. And then I made a fool out of myself. I'm sure didn't. But Robin, you've got this. Are you working tomorrow as well? I'm on day 2 of 8 in work. So you're working Monday, and are you working tomorrow? Wait, no. Oh, okay, because you came back on Friday. You got this. You got this. Today and tomorrow. You got this. Pookie, you got this, my love. Have you been playing any games? Did you play any games when you were at home? Sleeping. I'm so tired. Literally, like, the tiredness is... So, probably, sleeping tonight will be okay for you. Also, guys, if I feel a little bit all over the place, I am really sorry. I am excited to be here. I miss you all so much. Goodbye! No. I've had a week. So, my words may not... word, you know, like word, they might not word, and then we'll be playing comp, and I haven't played this game in like ages. Oh, I just feel like I'm hitting a rut with Overwatch. I want to play, and I don't have the time, and I'm nearing my 30s, guys, and I just don't have the time to play games anymore, and it's hard because I want to play games, but I don't have the time. Do you understand? Gonda, come here, come on, come cry with me. And then Konde is getting better than I am because he just keeps playing and I don't play. You really need to change your name. Konde, where the fuck is your profile? He's already hit plat 5. I'm slept on Thursday after my... Also, our ops manager is great. Oh my... I don't doubt that. I just made a fool out of myself. And guys, it was so embarrassing. Oh, I had to cry about it after. I was literally trying to explain what I was talking about. And the other person just wasn't getting it. And I was like, am I explaining this in a crazy way? Or am I just not making sense? And then everyone was just staring at me through the screen and I was about to cry. It's all in the past now. I did see that. Thanks. Thanks. That makes me feel so much better about myself. It was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? Oh my god. Okay, what are the Ew! It's ugly! I don't like it. I don't want to play this game anymore because I'm going to be stuck with ugly drives real. I should be able to disable ugly drives. Or, okay, Overwatch, here's the thing. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out, Overwatch. You know, you and I have a great relationship. Sure, someone send this to Blizzard and they'll be like, who's this bitch who's also always bitching about us, but she still plays our game. Anyways, I have a hyperfixation. Thank you very much. Hear me out, Blizzard and Overwatch team. You should continue releasing new drives like these every season, but you should give us the choice of selecting previous drives. We'd still have to earn them, no biggie, but you should give us the option to choose previous drives because I really want the purple one back. And you know, we might still, it's just, you'll still release new ones, no biggie, but I should be able to choose what drives I want because I really like the purple one. This is ugly for me. For me personally. The green color does not really suit dulce de leche. Because if you think about it, if dulce de leche goes green, that means it's moldy. And we don't want that. I'm so happy that you don't like them. Do you feel seen? I upgraded my phone yesterday. Woo, which one did you get? The guy who did my upgrade took £260 off the price for me too because I helped him understand childcare fund. Oh, I know that's right. Oh, I know. Sour de leche. Go fuck yourself. Is mold sour? I don't know. I don't think I've ever eaten mold. Hopefully not. Hopefully I haven't. Hopefully I haven't. Okay, like it is Lucia themed, but I don't, it just doesn't. Dulce de leche and it's green. You look at this and be like, that's moldy dulce de leche. You don't want that. You don't want mold in your dulce de leche. You guys are brave doing compound drives. Mind you, I haven't played this game in a week. I barely have been able. Guys, I've not really played Overwatch this even the last two seasons. The last two seasons have just been not great for stream and like stream wise and Overwatch wise. Also because the servers keep going down. It is milk based, so it goes sour when it spoils. Yeah. Oh no, I have drank spoiled milk and it is not good. It is not good. It's quite disgusting. And by drink, I mean I tasted by accident. I tried 2 games yesterday. Did you mean? No, you didn't try. You were on Overwatch for 8 hours yesterday. 2 games. Did you just leave it open? I got the 17 Pro Max. I'm paying less than what I'm paying currently for my 14 Pro Max. So does you swap the deal? You're not paying for the 14, right? It just swaps, right? I don't know. I've never swapped a contract for a new one because I've always just maximized my phones. I was on hard opia all day. I could have sworn yesterday you were on Overwatch for 8 hours. All day because I lost the ticket. I am really sorry, my love. Not paying for the 14 now. That's good. Is the camera any good? I actually played last night and really we don't question that, Hoshi. We do not question it. Also, Kondu, where are you? You're an aura. He's an aura farmer. You guys can't read it, but his title is aura farmer. I haven't even finished the battle pass. I have not been playing Overwatch at all. At all. At all. And it's really sad. It is really sad. Who messaged me? Well, guys, we're going to join Konditu. Hi, Pookie. Oh my god, you're in my speaker. Don't speak. Don't speak. Yeah. No, you're in my ears now. You're in my ears. I missed you, Pookie. Hello. Why are you speaking on Overwatch?
Miss Ma'am, it's automatic. It just joins automatic.
Alright, Miss Ma'am! Alright, Miss Ma'am! Okay, pull up! What did I do to you? I don't...
Me?
Okay, bye. Also, I have a story to tell Chad, but let me just go through it. I don't know because he'll be delivered to... What color did you get? Dulce tried to go against my fear of competitive and my DPS was throwing, so I wasn't blamed and called me a good mercy. Oh, I'm sorry you had that terrible experience though. You should try a stadium comp. Did you try stadium comp or normal comp? Bessie, I've been doing... You told me! How is that? Wait, let me peek. Let me take a peeky. Let me take a peeky. How's it going? Fuck you, man! Fuck you! Dante! You're already in blood 5! I'm so proud of my bestie, and I'm also so jealous because I'm gonna... Well done, Dante. Cond, can you please speak?
Yare yare.
Is that better, Chad? Don't give me those eyes, Dante. I'm very proud of you, but you know, I'm just jealous because I haven't been playing.
Vote for a map.
Stadium people are mean. Just disable Chad. You do realize that you've posted. Silver, the dark blue and orange weren't really. Oh, honestly, if there's one thing that fucking pisses me off is that a friend of mine at work showed me her new phone and she has the purple one, but the purple one is like not the Pro Max, and I've got the 16 Pro Max, and she had, I think, just the normal ones. You know what I mean. The regular models. And mine is also silver or like titanium or something like that. I have the purple 14 Pro Max.
Hi there.
But they don't release the Pro Maxes with
I will not leave a broken world.
wow. But they don't release the lilac. It just makes no sense. Kondo, can you speak, please?
Your armor is interesting. What does it use as a power source?
What have I done to you?
Own designs. Nice.
I missed you. We've barely talked all week. I have a crazy story to tell you. Okay, so basically what happened was I was at the gym today, and there was a guy with the shirt of my football club in Portugal, which is Sporting. Yes, if you're Portuguese, you're not. Oh, I fell!
Trust in each other and we won't fail. Enemy over here.
So, you know, I was just staring a little bit
Eyes on a target.
because he was Portuguese, clearly, and then he was with like 2 other people,
Come over here for me. Covering you.
and they were also clearly very Portuguese. They looked as
Come here
such.
to get healed.
And one of those people looked so much like Kondu, and when I noticed, I literally had a heart attack.
That must sting.
I literally had a heart attack. It was a hair.
Help me.
Help me.
So.
Ew! Who'd you support?
I go out on my terms.
I find picking a case harder. Just go with the bisexual cases, the transparent ones. It's a joke. There's like a joke in it, okay? Because bisexual people are always have the transparent cases for some reason. I wouldn't know. That was a crazy nano.
Stop the payload.
Targeting hostile.
Oh! Help me! I missed my sleep. I do. Benfica. Ew! Ew!
This is not the end. Hello.
Kondu, what's your football club in Portugal?
I'm not talking.
Why are you not talking? Why?
I'll keep you up.
What have I done?
Come here to get healed.
Hi. Up and away.
Aglan, don't fret. I see you.
冻住，不许走。They're moving the payload.
Healing fortified.
Minor perk unlocked.
Kondu, get that ult.
We're outnumbered. Be careful.
You want that ult. I know 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 you want that ult. Bitch. I didn't know if this mid of the it's just the whole thing that but it's kind of like a stereotype that the bisexual people have always seem to have the transparent phone case.
The
Condu?
payload has reached the checkpoint.
I need you to go crazy.
Covering you.
Shield that payload.
Where my shield broke? Carrying on me now.
You're powered up. Get in there.
My Q button wasn't queuing.
I'm on fire. Come on, try me.
Enough whining. You're fine.
That's my duo. I can't see you.
My game is too loud, I cannot hit.
That's okay.
Stand up straight.
That's okay. Where's the sound here?
Isaiah, targeting hostile.
Why is it so loud?
Why does Ziva keep doing the same thing?
Activating 自洗澡 sequence.
It's too quiet now.
Stop that payload.
Taking damage.
Helden sterben nicht.
Get back, get back.
I wanted to sleep the Mercy. What's yours? My cover? My phone case? Way too expensive for what it is. I bought it directly from Apple. Apple phone cases cost £50.
Healing you.
For what reason? But the thing is, if something happens to your phone, you get to go to the shop and blame them because you were wearing the case.
Enemies there.
Ooh, what a nano.
Its destination.
Profits barrage
Oh.
incoming.
Love you.
Oh, how did she hit that? Queenie, I love you. Good morning. Oh, favorite football league. League?
Enemy in the payload.
Get this bitch out of here. She's cheating.
I won't give in.
Can you report the... That's hella sus. Can you report the Ashy from the other team?
Will do.
Crazy.
Do you have mana?
Nope, 72. What was I saying? I don't think I have a league, but I'm a Tottenham.
Do something.
I'll keep you up.
I need healing. Oh.
I can't. Sorry. Yeah, that Ash is just so.
One of these days I'll end up in
Do you have it?
PG.
Oh, you just use this shit.
Better with age. I've got you. You're
Fuck it.
powered up. Get in there.
Well. Hello, Queenie. Good morning. One more month for a 1 year. God. Has it been? That's crazy. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Hope you enjoy your time here.
My turns.
1 year. 1 year.
Winnable.
Is it? I can't.
We're outnumbered. Be careful.
Good job.
Appreciate the support.
Get him out of my sight. You got this? I got your back. I got your back. Reloading.
Find there's too many of them in there.
I see you. Check to
Oh, what a nano. If this diva doesn't decide to do the same, it doesn't matter. Just quick play. We're just warming up. I really need. I'm reloading.
Team healing behind you.
I can't.
I've got you in my sights.
How's games been? It's just our first game. Homieversary. And Queen, we still have to sort out Resident Evil 8. We still have to sort out Resident Evil 8.
Play of the game.
Okay, let me see. It's either a that was when I was coming in, that was so suspicious. I am more inclined to believe that she's a hacker, but I also saw Valorant gameplay in that. That was Valorant gameplay. 100% Valorant gameplay. But Kondu, am I going crazy?
I don't think she was shooting. I just think she was good.
You don't? Okay. Because it was when I was coming in, she knew immediately where to look. Like, exactly where to look.
Could be that, yeah, actually. I haven't seen it properly, but...
She would have seen that I hurt her, because I damaged her. But it was the thing that she immediately knew where to look.
I mean, when you get damaged on the center of the screen, you know, the red things that show up on the center, it shows you where the damage is coming from.
But you don't just turn and you know exactly where their head is.
Choose your map.
Unless you have a crazy DPI. That's just not how it goes.
True.
So yes, she would have seen hacks in the hacks. We're gonna get our yeehaw! Oh, I bought Red Dead Redemption, Chad, and Queenie and I are just doing cowboy shit on Red Dead Redemption. I'm very excited for tomorrow. Which Zoe, as Conde was saying, you get alerted when you get... So she would have known I damaged her. She would have known I was coming from behind her. But it's not as easy as immediately looking at where my head is. Especially on Overwatch. Akane, hello, gorgeous. Good evening. How are you doing? Yeehaw. Yeehaw, Queenie. Yeehaw. R4. I don't have a title. Why is that? Do I have a title?
Humanity is shackled.
I don't.
I hold the key.
Why don't I have a title? How are you doing, Akane? What are you eating? Oh, I'm gonna get, I had late lunch, but I'm gonna get hungry now. Owned. Okay, I'll show you, Wild. Better come around, better look, try. Get into our level.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1.
I don't know. Kondu, which title was the one that you grinded for me? Blizzard don't ban me. He did it on my computer. Because he was here.
I don't remember.
Me neither. How did I not kill him?
I missed it.
The objective is now at end.
Orzo. Oh, I've never had orzo soup
Position is
with bacon bits and chickpeas. Have you been okay? You gave Arthur. Can you? Oh, you can give him a. What? Do you want to take Picky and send it to me? Dude, this is just quick play. We're not even in comp.
I see a hostile.
We're not even in comp.
Yes, we are.
Taking hold of the objective.
Huh? No, we're not.
Break
Oh.
the chains.
Oh. Oop.
Yep.
He ulted!
Be nurtured. You're broken. No.
I pressed the wrong button, sorry.
Need a moment to recharge. A cure for all the Dales.
Rally to me! I don't know, Hoshi. Royal Pain, was it? Yes, surviving. You got this, Akane. Have you been playing any exciting games lately? How's your streams been?
Much more efficient.
Also, I'm so sorry, Chad, if I'm missing messages.
Receive my aid.
I'm just really trying to get back into the groove of Overwatch before comp.
This area demands attention.
Back, thank you.
A sip for the parched. Move here. Take caution. You need only ask for my help.
They swapped for the same comp that we have, other than Lucio. No, sorry. Am I dreaming?
To extinction. Hello there. The weak can fend for themselves.
Imagine Brick saying it like a boss lady. Been chaotic but funny as usual.
No.
Wait, I'm oh my god. I need to get back in this.
Now.
Behind.
I'm not making any sense. I'm so sorry, guys. I'll read your message in just a second, Akane. This is not comp as of now, but it's starting to look like it. You need another You're eating.
Eyes open now.
I wish you could play together when like you're streaming and you have your invitations open, because I'd be down. But I'm always at work. I'm always at work. It's so sad. A lot to me. Imagine Brick saying it like a boss. What do you mean? That's what my mind with like. What are you on about? She's got to lock in. Do I? I feel like you quick play games are harder than. That's because you're in. You get good players in comp.
Problem, junker.
You have a good MMR. My MMR is all fucked up. It's the way you repeated her ult. Oh, oh, oh. A lot to me. Is that what she says? Is that what she says? A lot to me. I do love Brick's character. But Kond is just a wannabe. He's obsessed with Poe. You're lying! You're obsessed with Poe!
Keep it.
It's me.
I just like Brig on Stadium, that's it.
It's me who's obsessed with Poe, by the way.
Oh, not Chankra.
Mother's kindness. There's a test subject. Your assistance is appreciated.
Peaches, 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 peaches. What's everyone's plans for tomorrow, chat?
I cannot hear you yet.
Well, if he's there on his own, I can't do much.
Ooh, I
Aw,
walked right into that.
he came back like a good boy. I need juice. No, I'm gonna die.
Broken. May I?
They did? They're copying us!
Effective.
No, my Pookie! My Shayla! Die! Die, my Shayla! I have a cowboy date with you. She's a tyrant every time I ride it. Every time I ride. Sleep, sleep, and more sleep. And you deserve it because you're doing big girl things. Like raising a whole ass child.
Repairing your cellular makeup.
Same as every day for the next month. And what is that?
No mother's kindness.
Milkman killed me! Milkman killed Dulce de Leche!
Oh,
Evolution is a
Oh,
painful
thanks, just killed
path
himself.
to walk.
Guys, Milkman killed Dulce de Milky.
A blazing massacre.
Be nurtured. Surrender to your mother. Receive my aid.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
This ends. Break the chains.
Oh my god,
Cautious.
Junkrat is so low.
Clearing the area.
I offer something more.
Did she say surrender to your mother? Yes. Just the best skin in the entire fucking game. I said what I said. Actually, no, I would say it's the best Mora skin. There are better skins.
Your assistance is appreciated.
Well, I don't have any juice, so...
Your mother's kindness. Reforming you.
Can I go?
Jesus, what is this game? What, why? Wait, what are we talking about? Nah, Moira's suit needs a split red glitter. Honestly, I know I'm always complaining about this game in general, but I'm definitely always complaining. If there is one thing that I complain about, it's how shit I am about it. But the second thing is how bad the Moira skins are. Best Moira skin, maybe with the right color combo. The mythic one is the same level. I really like the mythic, but I don't know. I just the Lilith is so good. Also, what is happening? What? Why? What reasons? Zoe, you know Frankie killed me or undead. That is not what happened exactly. She's twisting the story. Are you going to tell chat how you attacked me first and how you killed yourself right as you joined the game? I killed you because you attacked me and then you became my enemy in the game.
A cure for all the tales.
Get that, Milkman.
The objective is now active.
Hello there.
Milkman. Milkman killed me. The Junkerad. He killed me.
Nurtured. Repairing your
Got it
cellular
because
makeup.
I'm Dulce the Milkies and he's Milkman and I'm Dulce the Leche in the game.
Ooh, I'll walk into that.
Jesus Christ. Who turned the cheats on? Someone turned the cheats on. Not me though. You got this, Akane. Honestly, good luck. I'm also dreading it. I am also dreading it. We got this. I didn't KMS. I was like, ooh, Frankie's here. I went to jump down to her and simply die. So you killed yourself.
A sip for the parched.
Well, you're gonna die.
Keep watch.
Despite the fact that whether you intentionally killed yourself in a game or not, it doesn't matter because you did end up killing yourself.
Receive my aid.
You died because you jumped down off a fucking cliff
I'm on
to
my
come and
back.
say hi. So how is that my fault? Pink Pony Club!
Come here, Freddy. No mother's kindness.
Clearing.
Surrender.
Who's
to
gonna have
your
shatter?
mother. You've lived so much, yet knows. Hello. Hello.
GG's. It's a dem drives. I'm just... The last thing I want to do is deal with kids.
I offer something more.
And now that I'm changing my schedule... GG's.
Jai of the Jai.
Peaches, 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 peaches. Ah! Wow!
Did you just watch the movie?
No. The guy is called
Oh, it's
Peaches.
because of his name, okay. I was wondering, why does she keep singing this whole game?
And even then, it's a bop.
Cool.
It's a bop. No? So we have 3 days to grind this. So today and tomorrow and potentially Monday. No, I want to do variety on Monday though.
So
And then if I'm like,
tomorrow it is.
that's not enough.
I mean, I believe Stadium gives us more points, does it not?
I think it's the same.
Let me see.
And then if I know you can push as you run past me. Also, you were just so fucking annoying. Sorry,
So
Queen.
normal competitive gives you 210 for a win. Stadium competitive gives you 265 for a win. But then if you lose a game, you'll also lose more points.
Duh, yeah. Resident Evil 8 on Monday. No, it's Claire Obscure. Gets Claire Obscure. I will stop it, don't worry. It's because then there's just no way to... Because once... Okay, so here's how it goes on Red Dead. You join and you're in a group. But if you attack each other for a prolonged period of time, you become enemies. It literally, like, you go red. As far as I noticed. And I don't want to become your enemy. I want to build a camp with you. And I want to yeehaw. And you just don't let me yeehaw because you kept, like... on me. How is that my fault? I'm going to piss, girl. Now I'm annoyed just thinking about it. Modded red. Can you do that? No, I need to sort my I need to sort my save files with Queen. That's what's happening. I'll be right back, chat. I might get my dinner too. Hello. Hello. What is... Where are there odds on? Hi, hi. You know, I tried so many times to join Holy City in that game, and it's like I got banned from there. What game? What are you talking about? Kondo, we're inactive. Oh. I like your Mercy skin. Town to City. What are you talking about? Is this a game she's playing on stream? She's playing Cult of the Lamb. Makes me so happy to see you on her stream and like Dwayne's, because you know the circle is just Town to City. I am so confused. I'm going to get my dinner. Sorry, Chad. I know this is not the most entertaining thing ever, but I need to eat. Wait, what are we talking about? I'm very confused. So you're trying to join Holly City. What are you town to city? Town to city? So you're trying to join her on that. Is that what's happening? My screwed up mess. That I never listen. Tell me you don't want my... What a bop. Oh. Is it free? 10 out of 10. Damn, alright, okay. Build an idyllic 19th century Mediterranean town and help it flourish into... Oh, I used to love playing games like this on, like, Facebook. You know the free... There was a free Facebook game that I can't remember the name. Not Farmville, no. A proper... Was it Facebook or was it just a website? I don't know, but there used to be a medieval-like game that you had to build your empire and whatnot, and I really like that. Not Civilization. It wouldn't let me at all. Is it because you were shoving people? Also, Frankie, they held a Shane and Ilya look-alike company here. I saw that. Who won, though? I didn't see who won. Yes. That I never listen. Tell me you don't... But why wouldn't it let you? Did you get to the bottom of the situation? Please do. No, Queen, but I'm not on my private Instagram, though. Oh, I want to play the game. Oh, it's early access. 21 pounds? I used to play it for free on Facebook. I'm joking. Support your devs. Tell me you love. Facebook. Oh, I find crazy stuff on Marketplace. I don't know what you're on about. I find crazy stuff up in there. Also, I'm going to make you guys watch the Caleb trailer because there's a rerun and I want to watch it. And to be honest, there's just nothing else to do. Because guess what? Look at those cues. Look at those fucking cues, man. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, let me see. No, that's not what I wanted. I want this. Speed dial. Oh my god! The drag. You streamed that game Town to City? When was it? Was it recently? Did you like it? It's so cute. Sorry for mentioning that. Mentioning what, darling? Why are you apologizing to the mods? Feel strong, man. I don't have Facebook. Well, you should. You find crazy stuff. Oh, I like this song. You find crazy stuff up in there. Yeah, the game is very cute. Oh my god, I'm okay. 21 pounds. I just bought Red Dead, so I can't. But I really like the premise. Chat participates. Oh, man, I really like a game like... I really enjoy a game like that. Okay. I'm looking. I'd be interested in playing that on Variety Day. Streamlabs was a... That's funny. Do they do crazy things out of their own whim, like Cult of the Lamb? Queen, we were talking about you early. Because I think Cuppy is also playing Cult of the Lamb. Oh, was that the game that Cuppy was talking about? Cuppy! We were. I was telling chat how surprised I am that Cult of the Lamb is having a research and everyone is playing it. Then I was saying how I'm in your island or your cult and you gave everyone else an interesting name and you just called me Frankie. Actually, I was not talking about that, but I'm complaining about it now. It's like Sims, but more basic. Okay, as long as I don't have to give my money to EA. Fine by me. Let me see. What's it called? What's it? Town to City. I just really enjoy medieval-like games. For example, I don't see my... It's not the same kind of genre. But as you all know, The Witcher is my favorite game. One of my favorite games. And so is BG3. And at the same time, I wouldn't see myself playing Cyberpunk because it's futuristic. Same thing with Dragon Age and Mass Effect. I tried Mass Effect and I will finish that series, that franchise, but it doesn't hit the same. I don't know what it is. There was a new DLC release. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Try Foundation. I really enjoy these type of games, sorry. If they're medieval, if they have a medieval aesthetic, I really enjoy it. Is it survival though? See, here's the thing. If they're survival, that's my thing. Okay, no. Medieval and strategy. I like that. I like sandbox games. You're balls deep. Come again? Come again? More detailed than SimCity? That's a big claim. I was addicted to SimCity. I started playing SimCity at 3 years old. And then either the Sims 1 released or my sister-in-law got it and I started playing Sims 1. The rest is history. SimCity was my first game. I barely knew how to read. Frankie was in an island. Singles Inferno style? Oh, do you know what? If they ever bring Singles Inferno... Hi, Katie! Welcome in, my love! Did you see the kill? Oh, this is what I wanted to show you guys. I was just about to show Chad the Caleb rerun. Was it woohoo? What? Right, Lisa, can you teach me Japanese? Tin has a new cover. Oh, that's my son. I need to. I didn't know. What was I saying? Oh, Caleb. I gone right. Also, what were we talking about? We twinning. Oh, was it also your first game, Akane? Katie, how are you, my love? I didn't make it for Zane's car. Wait, you didn't get it? Where is it? Let me just go on Instagram. They announced a rerun and I'm hella excited because I don't have the companion. I know that's right. Did they post a trailer here? Oh. They announced it, but where is it? Oh, there you go. Absolute cinema. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't have the companion. Ah! I'm so excited.
Elimination protocol.
Smash.
You no command rejected.
I want him.
I
Infold made it. I'm so sorry, Katie. You're working tomorrow. Get that bread though.
And imagining you.
Are you going to pull? Smash. Smash. Oh my god. I didn't even hear the game. I didn't even hear the game. Oh my god. What is he wearing? It's a... You don't know Love in Deep Space. I'm always talking about Love in Deep Space. I cleaned my whole house, cooked a badass... The orzo soup did sound... And well done. Oh my god, my thoughts. The orzo soup did sound delicious. And well done on you. Well done on you. Girl, what? Exactly, Katie. Go get that bread. You need it. For Love in Deep Space. That's crazy. I can't believe you never heard me talk about Love in Deep Space, Akane. I'm always talking about Love in Deep Space. It's just an automate game on your phone. I want him. Deep what? Love in Dick Space. That's what's up. And he's a robot in his card. You should install Love in Deep Space.
Teams are going head to head in collecting energy. Welcome to the Armory. Now's the time for our teams to work out their strategies.
Yeah, you should install it. Wait, what's the team comps? Oh my god, these two already have the fucking... 5 people already have the drives. Also, Spotify time. Yeah, you should install it. It is a gacha game. But it's free. With the last video. I couldn't hear anything.
The teams have 20 seconds left to prepare for the round.
Are we the Charger and the Caleb Cord? Are you making a joke because he's a robot? What that arm do? Akane, I think you would like Caleb if you played Love in Deep Space. He is a very controversial figure. Like, very controversial. Like, more controversial than the
Eyes open now.
mafia boss
We have company.
in the game.
The objective unlocks in 10
I see a
seconds.
hostile.
More controversial than that guy. That guy is actually, in my opinion, the most adorable out of all the 5 of them. And then there's Caleb. He's just so morally gray.
Observing this location.
He's just so morally gray. I love him. And I love the voice actor that I totally do not know who it is, and I will not disclose it.
Over there. A taste of poison.
I'm fired up right now.
Yes, I'm lame. I don't think you're lame. I was just a little bit lost.
Enemy located.
The barrier appears.
Help me.
need juice.
We must attack.
I got
Thank you.
Mila Buis.
Ha, 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 ha. Ha. Oh, I love this song.
Over here. No. You will be renewed.
Oh! Why did I jump?
defense matrix.
Hottie, hottie. Who's the hottie? Caleb.
My essence has reformed.
Almost ready.
He's mine though.
Almost ready.
Shunish.
I love his character so much.
Watch out.
And I especially like how misunderstood he is
For all, join with me.
by the entire fandom. Or like by none Caleb makes.
Barrier is nearly spent.
I love the havoc that it creates. So much so, Chad, let me tell you. On AO3, Caleb's categories.
Surrender to your mother.
Caleb's category on AO3 was out of all relationship categories. Caleb was the ninth. Was the one with the what was it? He went in 9th place for most fics written, with like 8,000 fanfics, and I can assure you that I've read a good percentage of that. I have. Okay, Queen.
It was a hard fight,
Lost
but they
that.
lose this round. Let's check the standings. 0
Fuck.
to 1. Let's have a look at our MVP.
Oh my god, not the support VIP. MVP, I mean.
Up next, who's
The
ready
voice
to
actor.
start the
Yeah,
pitch?
I don't know who the voice actor of Caleb is.
What tactics will the teams come up with this round?
And I'm not gonna say it, because apparently people get fucked over when you talk about voice actors' works when they're supposedly anonymous. And when they're anonymous, it's not that you're not supposed to know or you can't find out who it is, okay? It's not that. But people get like all up in their feathers and ruffle some feathers for some fucking reason.
Only
It's just the
20
fact
seconds
that the
remain
voice
before the
actors have
action
NDAs.
begins.
They can't talk about it. It's Seth Rogen. Yep, you heard it here. Caleb's voice actor, and we're talking about Love in Deep Space. Caleb's voice actor is Seth Rogen. Don't ask me how I know that. I have like insider information.
3, 2, 1.
Yep, that's how I know it.
Objective.
I have
Let's get this done.
industry insider information. I am in the industry of voice acting. That's why I'm a really good album impersonator. That was so off.
Fight is
The weak can fend for themselves.
Pax?
You're a lifesaver.
I hate that maze snowball thing. Deals so much damage.
I must recharge. Hold on.
That's a bounty secured.
Barrier is splintering.
Big stanger left.
Their distance now exceeds our own.
That's gonna sting.
Actuating the barrier. Got the robot. Let's move.
They're so close to taking the lead.
Okay, back off, back off, back off, back off.
Yep, yep.
Oh, excuse.
Come to me.
They need to fix the bash against my wall. It's so weird.
Why?
Because I can clearly, if she puts a wall in here, I can clearly go through the side, but it bashes into it, although there's nothing there.
An inevitable occurrence. Misery made manifest.
That is weird. I didn't realize that.
Your strength becomes mine. A
Oh,
taste of
there was no one
poison.
there.
I see a hostile.
That was a lucky kill.
Let us proceed. There's a test subject. Receive my aid. Need a moment to
We
recharge.
have two ults.
Unassailable prowess.
Helden sterben nicht. Hunting them down.
Surrender to your mother. I require assistance.
What is that melody?
Big stanger left. Enemy located.
Ray's resing
Viable
someone.
progress.
Thank you for the 3-stream streak, Katie. Also, have you been baking anything delicious? I mean, everything you bake is delicious, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it is.
30 seconds remaining.
I've got you in my sights.
That's gonna hurt.
May I?
Oh, no, I'm in the
Oh, Aya's isolated myself. Oh, meu Deus. Aproveita o caldo verde, no. Oh, que,
Oh my god, I love
que
Calvin.
inveja.
My essence
Do you
has
also like caldo
reformed.
verde?
Hello there.
Almost at
Conde?
the finish line.
Me?
Here's our
Yeah,
score.
you said something about caldo verde.
2-1.
I love Calvin.
Oh,
Some intense competition
no,
this
I'm
round.
jealous. Enjoy your lurk, my love. Thank you for being here. MC flirts with him and that Seth Rogen laugh happens.
Next up, get ready for chaos in Clash. The teams are gearing up. Every choice
It
is
popped up immediately. Yeah, that's Caleb from Love in Deep Space. That's Caleb from Love in Deep Space. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Shame on you, I fantasize what we would do. Uncanny resemblance. It's not even about resemblance, he's voice acting,
Arena
innit?
is ready and waiting. 20 seconds to go.
Like a cigarette, can we drag it out and never quit? And Queenie, weren't you going to sleep? What happened to that? Boo. I need to change my graffitis.
Hello there.
3,
In it,
2,
bro.
1.
Yeah, tell her.
Commencing attack on objective B.
The fact that I went like this, so I felt all in IRL, so I also wouldn't like. It's like when Soy is playing Valorant and she dodges the bullets all like this. It's so funny. Soy is hilarious.
I require assistance.
The objective's live.
Yeah, I don't like this map.
Repairing your cellular makeup. Enemy located. Your end is within my reach.
Oh, no,
Grant
fuck,
me
give me
an
a second.
ember from your hearts.
Yeah.
I see a hostile.
Kill the Mercy.
Be nurtured.
Kill the fucking mate, that's all we need to fucking kill.
Broken.
Well, not if you stay in the lava.
She rolled me onto the lava.
Yeah, this is not a good map for us.
My essence has reformed.
They lost the objective. The team needs to fall back to objective A.
Big Steierlach.
Stell nicht.
Gale the Mahul. Help me.
Just
The objective
Moira
goes
did.
live in 10. The objective is now active. What a play by Soldier 76!
hi, Pebble. Can we keep Queenie for 5 more minutes? Don't know, but she's the thing. She has a cowboy date with me tomorrow morning.
Pain only glimpsed in me.
The bounty's been claimed.
There's a test of surrender to your mother. Careful, we're outnumbered. I require assistance.
Quite ready yet.
I hate May on
Looks
Stadium,
like the win
man.
was out of reach this round. Let's check the standings. 1 to 2. Quite the performance from these superstars.
What the fuck is that Mercy doing?
Coming up next,
Thank you, baby.
rev those engines. It's time for a payload race.
My mum wanted me
Time
to
for
ask
the
your mum
teams
if I
to
can
gear up.
sleep over. So your mum wants to get rid of you? How does that work? Hold me and love me just when I text you for. That's not how the song goes. 3 seconds I sit up on my bum. Have some fun. This beat is sick. I wanna take a ride on your disco stick. I wanna take a ride on your disco stick. Play a love game if you want love or you want fame. Are you in the game? What is this game? Hello. How you doing? Condito, are you still not talking with me?
I'm eating.
Only 20 seconds
Ooh,
left
you
until
eating?
we kick this round off.
Chicken.
That's nice. The chicken that died for that is not very nice.
It's delicious though.
Oh, good morning, Queenie. Sleep well. I gotta look presentable for my date. Oh, baby.
1. Let's get right into it.
Enemies there. Let's clear them out.
Bye bye.
I'm under attack.
Actuating the barrier.
I'll cover you.
Effective. Over there. You will be renewed.
There's one.
Shield enemy here.
Be nurtured.
My barrier is gone.
Not think so.
The opposing team reached the first checkpoint.
Eyes open now.
That'll tear you, man.
Our team needs to fight hard to close the gap.
I see a hostile.
Thank you.
Move here if you wish to be healed.
That soldier needs to be taken care of.
Enemy located. Reforming you. You cannot defeat me.
I swear.
Okay, I'm going up to get that soldier out of there.
They've got us outnumbered.
How are games?
Our team has to rally together to catch
We
up.
waited 10 minutes for this game, so.
They will learn pain, only glimpsed in myth.
Barrier initialized.
We're losing. You know.
Oh, you
You know, same
We're not
old.
losing.
Reach the halfway mark.
Well, we're not winning.
Your end is within my reach.
Man, it just doesn't make any. Like, you can't have a lava build and a fucking snowball that also deals damage. You have to have one or the other.
A taste of poison.
It's just how it
Good
goes.
minds are
How is that
always
fair that you get a
persecuted.
snowball that deals damage and you're able to put to do a lava build and push into the fucking
The
lava?
opposing team has entered the final stretch. Our team has to rally together.
Surrender to your mother.
Oh, no more
Man.
of that. That's a
I gave you as many packs as I could.
Cannot escape me.
No, I used the wrong one.
I gave you a pack. I gave you another one.
Hunting them down.
60 seconds remaining.
How's your Dwaybu, how's your weekend going? Are you working?
冻住，不许走。
It all comes down to this.
I miss you. I miss your streams.
Helden sterben nicht.
You're off. Ooh la la.
No mother's kindness.
What the fuck?
Moira's only 10 seconds left. 1, 2, 3.
I would be more okay with losing
Let's have a look
if
at our MVP.
I didn't have to wait 10 fucking minutes for every game. Hello, Warris. How you doing, mate?
Time to face
Je ne
off
parle
with
pas
the
français, mais je peux lire un peu. I've been practicing.
What tactics
Did you
will
like
the teams
that?
come up with this
Did you
round?
like that? I'm Yuturu. Is that French? Is that French? Yeah, I've been practicing. Cause like people, when I say je ne parle pas français, people are like, "Oh my god, your accent is really good. Are you sure you don't speak French?" And I'm like, no, but I can read, and I can never remember how to say peut lire un peu. I can read a little bit. Un peu. So I memorized it. That's where it came. I just wanted you to see how good I am at French. You don't like it? Je ne parle pas français, mais je peux lire un peu. I memorized it. Banks, indeed. Right, so you just wanted to flex. So you don't like my French. Also, welcome in, Gorge. You just wanted to flex. Je ne parle pas français, mais je peux lire un peu. Okay, so now you say how good I am at French. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Should I start learning French?
Is ready and waiting. 20 seconds to go.
Should I? Thank you, Gorge. Is it like Gorg or Gorge? As in, you're Gorge, like gorgeous. How are you doing? Yeah, I think I'm working on my French. I think I'm working on my French. I think so.
This is the match
I
point.
think so.
The team
Why are
needs
all
to
so
pull
good?
together to stay in the fight.
I'm literally novice.
3,
That's
2,
the
1.
same elo on
Capture
normal.
the objective.
Stare.
The barrier appeared. Bad guys.
Like that?
Take him out.
Like that?
Be
The
nurtured.
objective goes live in 10.
Barrier has been overwhelmed.
Shields buckling.
So
The
good.
objective is now active.
There's you're on your own, kid? No, you're not. Why do I play Stadium?
You will be renewed. Over there.
We don't have anyone to take care of the Mei. We don't have anything to take care of the Diva.
Receive my aid.
Ah!
Actuating the barrier.
I got stuck.
Behind you.
What is it now?
My barrier is gone.
Do not rely on my generosity. It is fleeting.
Helden sterben nicht.
Okay.
My power emanates.
Just a minute.
Ruination
And the
is
bounty's off the board.
I guess your French is cool. I think you're cool. How have you been?
Enemy returns.
I've got a reputation to keep.
How'd you say how have you been in French? I can't remember. Shit. How did it go?
Did you?
Monsieur, how are you? Comment ça va? Comment ça va?
Here you get.
How did I forget that?
Barrier is nearly spent.
Ah! She nearly sat on me! Bitch.
Reforming you. Surrender to your mother.
Keep me up.
I know the fabric of the cosmos.
Comment ça va, Boris? How many languages do you know? I don't count French. I can read a little bit of French. So
No opposition is
I can
insurmountable.
speak 3 languages. What about you? You can speak Italian, English. What else can you speak?
Hunting them down.
But I would like to learn German and French before I die. So I have, like, according to my astrologist, I have around 20 years. So I can learn French and German.
Cure for all the veils.
Barrier initialized.
I can protect. Rally to me.
Rally to me!
I require assistance.
Overtime.
Break the chains. There's a test subject.
Oh, no more of that.
See but a fraction of the universe.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Hello there.
Je m'appelle Gorgi. That's what Tashi doing these. We fair enough. How'd you say pleasure to meet you? How? Le croissant? Oui.
And they take the round. Let's check the stats. 2 to 3.
Why am I on jet
I can hardly
Said
believe my
translate.
optics when I see stats like these.
French pleasure.
Up next, put those hands together. It's time for
Un plaisir de
push.
vous.
Au plaisir de vous
Now's
rencontrer.
the time for our
Un
teams
plaisir de
to
vous
work out their
rencontrer.
strategies.
No, that's not how. Nice to meet you.
Ravi de vous rencontrer.
Ravi de vous rencontrer. Ravi. Ah! Ravi de vous rencontrer. Gordise. Fluently, I can speak just Italian and English, but I studied French in middle school and high school, and I want to learn it better because I would love to live for a bit in France one day. Oh, I think you would do just fine in France, my love, mon amour. I don't know. I imagine you in France. You know? Yeah. I see it. I see Hashi doing shenanigans in France. Why is this a poem? I'm also learning Spanish because my dad is working there at the moment. Ooh, what does he do? And because, why not? Exactly, but I also, did I just see Google Translate? What else am I meant to do? I need to listen to it. Merci, little dude. Au revoir. Au revoir.
We're at the match
Either
point.
monsieur
The
or
team
mademoiselle.
needs to give their all to make their
What
comeback.
am I supposed to do? I need to listen to it.
1. Capture the objective.
This is the longest stadium game we've had in a while. Hey, if we waited 10 minutes, we might as well make it long,
The
innit?
objective goes live
Ha!
in 10.
Nice.
How did that happen?
Big stanger left.
Where was he shooting from? And why was he going through the walls? Are you sure?
What is it now? Over here.
Where is he?
The barrier can't withstand much more.
I don't have juice.
My apologies. Enhancing your vitals. Enemy located.
Winnable, we come back, come on.
You're slipping away.
What the fuck is wrong with his cast, man?
Isn't he he's the novice?
I think so.
But it's the thing, we're the same elo. Yes, it sucks, but we are the same elo.
I've got you
Cause like pro in Sadum is like gold, silver. Engines of the ships. I love ships. Maybe I learned from him to ship so many. Good one, Hachi. I love ships. What kind of ships does he work on? I love ships. Oh man,
I offer something
you're gonna die.
No.
I can taste you.
60 seconds remaining.
Why did I come on my own?
Surrender to your mother.
I'm really feeling the heat.
Oh, I'm trying.
Be nurtured. Careful, right numbered.
Why did our tank stay where he was?
Such grief.
30 seconds remaining.
I'm trying to do that. I don't think I can contest this.
Misery made
Not on my own.
receive my
Oh, I'm touching the lava.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't think there's a specific type. So you have cruise ships, then you can have medical ships, and then you can have export ships. Sorry guys, I'm nerding out a little bit.
receive.
and never back down there for what?
There's a test subject.
That's my go.
This is our last chance
And
to stop them.
what else? You can have small ships,
What is it now?
like yachts, Then you can have warships, which are stinky.
The chains. You're built to push, but so do it.
Relationship. No, we're talking about ships.
公主不洗澡。
This is important. Oh, I'm gonna die. GG's up here. They absolutely ruined us with that one.
Hunting them down.
Meant to be. Wishing this team all the best in the next match.
And what other types of ships can you have?
Progress is seldom won with ease.
Let's run this.
Oh, that's not Duo! Oh, you're so gay!
To me.
Rally to me! I like teammate! Oh, we lost.
It was a nice game. Oh, idea rhyme.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we win comp points by round. 2 ships, pirate ships, sailing ships. Yeah. Do you count? Pirate ships are not a type of ship, though. I'm going to Frankie-splain ships to you, Dwayne, though. Pirate ships are not ships. They can be stolen warships. They can be illegally crafted ships. They can be stolen sailing ships. They're mostly sailing ships. They literally are. No. I'm not 100% on that one. Type of ships. Cargo carriers, bulk carrier. Okay, passenger chips, chips, naval vessels, special purpose ships, fishing ships. Pirate ships are not a type of ship. It's a lot of shipping in my mouth. Passenger ship. Ferries, submarines. I wouldn't, yeah, naval vessels, warships, whatever. List of ship types. I love ships! It just gets me, like, going, you know? You know, when I mention the word ships, it's just, ah! Anyways, what do you want, Conde, for custom? And then I'm going to nerd out about ships. Or do you want a death match?
I'm fine with anything.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, let's go through types of ships, everyone.
Now this ends.
It's time for learning with Frankie. This is a list of historical ship types, which includes any classification of ship that has ever been used, excluding smaller vessels considered to be boats. The classifications are not mutually exclusive. A vessel may be both a full-rigged ship by description and a collier or frigate by function. You've got an aircraft carrier. You know? An aircraft carrier like they did in... Was it Marvel that you had? No. What was the movie that you had one? Anyways, aircraft carrier, which is a naval vessel able to launch and retrieve airplanes. An amphibious warfare ship, vessels of various size for landing personnel and vehicles. An aviso, which is a Spanish, French, or Portuguese. That's me. Aviso, originally dispatch boat, later applied to ships equivalent to the Royal Navy sloop. A barque. This is very important. A sailing vessel with 3 or more masts, fore and aft rigged only on the aftermost. Sexy. A barquentine, a sailing vessel with 3 or more masts, but it's square rigged only on a foremast. A battle cruiser, oh, sexy. Well, I don't like warships though, but they're sexy. A heavily armed cruiser similar to a battleship, but possessing less armor. And then a battleship, a large, heavily armored and heavily gunpowder warship. Now let's go through these big. Boom! Look at this beauty. Why do we look up the most random? Because ships were mentioned and I love ships. A belander, a ship or a brig with a lug-rigged mizzen sail. A bireme, an ancient vessel propelled by 2 banks of... Oh, actually, you know what I should do? Types of ships. Why did Spotify pause? I wasn't even singing, Discord. We should watch a video on ships. Oh, I have another kind of ship. A warship? Like hosier ship. A warship, a warship kind of ship is a hosier ship. Maybe my dad worked on a pirate ship and I don't know. Maybe because it would have been stolen eventually, no? Guys, we're going to watch a video about a ship. I am so excited. 25 types of, no, what was the one that I watched? No. All kinds, was it kinds of ships? I don't care about warships. Ooh, I remember watching this video. Oh my god, okay, let's watch this one.
With Virgin Media,
fuck Virgin Media.
Season 4
You've watched a video on this already?
Smooth M250 broadband for our lowest ever price.
I've watched many
Under
videos on ships
24
actually.
hours
Oh, I've watched so many videos on the Britannica, sorry. Oh, so many. It's one of my favorite.
Human beings have been using ships for thousands of years, right? And since their inception.
Is this AI? 3 years ago, though.
Ships have become much more advanced. We've made ships of all
Oh, look at
shapes
that
and
beauty.
sizes for transport, for rescue.
I don't care about yachts.
So join me as we
Look at that!
amazing
That's a
types of
big
ships.
ship.
Number 15,
It just
Zumwalt-class
slices
destroyers.
through the ice.
Zumwalt-class destroyer consists of 3 U.S. guided missile destroyers. They were designed as multi-mission stealth ships, and their focus is on land attacks. They have 2 main goals. The first role is naval gunfire support.
Can you guys
and
hear
their
that?
second role is anti-aircraft warfare and surface warfare.
We don't like
They're
warships!
designed around 2 advanced gun systems, a unique long-range land attack projectile, and turrets with 920
A lot of ships have
magazines.
stairs.
These Zumwalt-class
This is
destroyers
ugly.
are operated by the United States Navy and were built
Fuck
by
the United
Bath
States.
Iron Works, Ingalls Shipbuilding. They were
I hope
commissioned
this
in
ship sinks
2016,
with
and
no
the total
one in it.
program cost was $22.5 billion, with each ship costing around $4.2 billion. Currently,
Just
there are
imagine
only 2
all of the infrastructure that you could have invested on with that kind of money. You know, infrastructure that would have benefited the people.
active destroyers, although 3 have been completed.
This is the shit I used to
Plan was
watch
to
as a
build
kid.
total of
Shit, put
32,
some
but
respect
given
onto
the
ships'
cost of the
names.
technology, the number was drastically reduced to 7. They have a
Are they
length
people
of
or
610
seagulls?
feet, a beam
What?
of about 80 feet, and a draft of 27 feet. The displacement is just over 15,000 long tons. And
It's
although
stealing
they're
my tax
classified
dollars.
as
That's what I'm
destroyers, the
saying!
Zumwalt class is much larger than
But
other
not this
active
shit.
destroyers in the United States Navy.
Oh,
Number 14,
Project Galileo.
Project Galileo 2. Why build a ship when you can build a floating town? That must have been what the designers were thinking when they drew up the designs for Galileo 2. Why? Because
No,
calling this mega
this is just
catamaran
annoying
a
me all
ship
over
is
again.
a bit of a stretch,
Galileo,
given its size and many amenities.
Galileo,
It's a concept
Picado,
ship designed by
Magnifico.
Peter Beck Designs. As you can see, this is no
What's the
ordinary
point?
catamaran. The ship's got its own harbor
Invest in
area with marine
infrastructure.
facilities like cranes, lifts, and indoor storage. It also has room for up to 25 tenders, submarines, and toys in its tender space. Project Galileo can
Oh my
welcome
god, that
up
was
to 38
quick!
guests, as well
Oh,
as
I wanna talk
75
about
staff members.
ships!
And there's more than enough for everyone to do on the ship.
I don't care about these ships.
Welcome to Daily Logistics. In this video, we are going to talk about the types of ships.
Wait, let me select. Should I go Kiriko since we have a Winton?
I don't see why not.
There are different types of ships available in the world's vessel fleet. According to the UNTAD data in 2019, the world fleet has 95,402 ships with 1.97 billion deadweight capacity.
It's a bit
In January
small.
2021, the deadweight
It's a bit
capacity
small.
reached 2.1 billion DWT, which is 63 million DWT, more than the year 2020. This reached 105,500 vessels with a deadweight capacity of 2.2 billion in 2023. The container ships play a big role in the merchant shipping fleet, as most of the finished goods carry in containers. You may have come across different types of ships and their unique use and specifications. applications.
I
Having a
definitely
specialized ship
have,
is
and I
easy
want the
when
Lego
handling
ship.
cargo in international
I
trade,
want
as it
all of the
reduces the
Lego
handling
ships.
time, cost, and increases efficiency. Here are
the
some interesting
Titanic.
facts on the global shipping
Then,
fleet.
there's a
Half
new
of the world's fleet is
Caravel
owned by
that they
Asian
released.
companies. This is 1.2 billion deadweight tons. Mainly China, Japan, Singapore, and Hong Kong contribute to Asia's share of the world DWT, and 16% of the total carrying capacity is registered in Panama. And did you know that 94% of global ship construction is carried out in China, the Republic of Korea, and Japan? We have gathered different types of vessels for your reference. First, we are going to talk about breakbulk ships. Breakbulk is the oldest shipping method. Before introducing the containers, all the cargoes were packed in pallets, barrels, boxes, drums were carried in one ship. The term breakbulk originated from the word breaking bulk, as different types of bulk cargo carry in one ship by breaking them with different packings. Though the breakbulk vessels were very popular prior 1960s, the use of breakbulk shipping has reduced with containerization. Next, we will check on bulk carriers. Bulk vessels are designed to carry cargo in cargo holds of the ship. Bulk carriers are available with single cargo holds to more holds with a deadweight up to 400,000. Cargo can be loaded into the holds without packing and in bulk form. Steel, sugar,
That's a lot
ore,
of
grain,
text,
cement
though.
are the most popular cargo to carry in bulk ships.
So,
Bulk
it's
vessels
because
are
I have it
available with geared and
on,
gearless forms. Grabs are fitted to
1.5.
ship cranes or port terminal cranes in order to lift the cargo from cargo hatches. Some bulkers discharge cargo to trucks, while
See,
some
I
discharge into
don't
hoppers,
like cargo
which are fitted to
ships that
silos through
much.
conveyor belts to transport cargo to the
I don't
factory.
care.
Bulk ships are single-decked and available in different sizes.
I like
Let's see
cruise
what is a
ships a
container
lot.
vessel. Container vessels are
And
popular to carry non-bulk cargo,
cruise
and
ships
around
are so
90% of
versatile
non-bulk
because
cargo
you can,
carry in
for
container
example,
ships.
just turn
Faster
a lot of
handling,
them
efficient use of ship
into
space,
medical
minimized
ships,
pilferage, low
especially
unit
like the
costs,
smaller
and
cruise
multimodal
ships.
transportation are a few advantages of moving to container
can't
shipping.
keep up.
Shipbuilders construct different
Yes, you
size
can.
container ships, and the largest container vessel in the merchant ship
Ship-
fleet can carry up to
shipbuild-
24,000 TEU.
shipbuilders.
The MSC Irina remains as the world's largest container ship at the moment.
Do you guys remember when? Oh, what was the ship? Do you guys remember when that ship got stuck in the was it the Nile River? The Nile is the river in Egypt. Your husband is gay.
Capacity of 24,000.
Oh, where's Spotify? What was a boat? What was a ship? It was a cargo ship. It was so silly. It was so okay. Yeah, don't.
It was amazing.
What's up?
Good call on Kip. Not gonna lie to you.
Sorry.
Good call on Kip.
What are you talking about? You're cutting out.
Now go get him.
What did you say?
Good call on Kiriko.
Yeah, I guess. Could have killed.
Careful. A new dawn for you.
I'm on fire. Kaiki.
I can't deal with maze anymore.
The battle ignites me.
I think I got stuck in it between the walls. It was funny.
Your day just got made.
An amazing play by
Restoring balance.
Keep an eye out.
Moira, you're so skinny. Stop.
Hey. She's gonna blow.
What was the joke?
Be healed.
He doesn't seem want to laugh, so it must have been a good joke.
I'm with you. Run into me. I'm on fire.
setting out the welcome mat.
Careful. We're outnumbered.
Oh no, we need to get out. Sorry.
You're all good.
Leave me alone! Fucking bitch. I need to punch more. Wait, Hoshi, bye, Hoshi. Have a good evening, my love.
That was
Goodbye.
interesting.
Au revoir.
Get in there, Bob. Bob, do something.
Overtime.
On your horizon. Satellite vector. Let my son.
That was a terrible ult.
It was a hard they lose this round.
Well, happy
Score.
drives the season.
0-1. Quite the performance from these superstars.
It's going so well. Oh, I heard a joke the other day. The joke was, what do you call a dinosaurs with hemorrhoids?
Who's ready to start the push? It's time
scared
for the
to
teams
ask.
consult their playbooks.
But go ahead. Yes, looks good in his ripped blue jeans. Is in the spring. Body's a work of art you die to see. Let's go when you drive in your car. I'm your baby, losing all my innocence in the backseat. A Megasaurus.
The teams have 20 seconds left to prepare for the round.
Hemorrhoids are not a sore ass. That's not how hemorrhoids work. They're not. Your ass isn't sore because it has. Okay, it's funny.
3, 2, 1.
And I'm laughing at shit like that.
Capture the objective.
Look, I love my mom, but I would rather my mom be way more humorous like you are. Okay, my mom has no sense of humor. So like you want your baby to have a humorous mother. You need them so they have a lot of character.
I bless you. The breeze brings relief. Be purified. The goddess is here.
That's not good. We have to
That's
stop
our
them.
charge this far.
Yeah, our monkey's feeding them. It's always our turn.
Time to come out
Squish's
of
mother
my
currently
cave.
laughs when she says okay in a funny accent. What?
I'm with you. Hear my bell. We don't have the lead anymore.
Do you?
That's a bounty in the bag.
I don't even have my Suzu. I keep forgetting that I have double Suzu actually. But they're on your bum though, but a hemorrhoid is not your ass being sore. You have a very
get back to
painful.
They've almost got the lead.
It's not. It's not. What would you call it?
Your prayers are answered.
You have a mass on your ass.
Be resplendent.
60 seconds remaining.
Let my sunlight guide you.
60 seconds remaining.
I laugh at myself a lot, as you should, my love. I'm laughing at myself all the time. No one else does. They're either laughing at me or
I learned
just
from that.
staring at me.
Nearly have the lead.
Oh, I remember Hemorrhoid Lady. Yeah, I remember that. It's the evil aunt, isn't it?
Your day
30
just got
seconds
made.
remaining.
They got the robot. Into darkness.
Please resolve your issue.
30 seconds left.
Oh, she's so low.
10 seconds
Done
remaining.
playing around.
Bob, do something.
They've stopped their barricade.
I swear to God,
Looks like the win was out of reach.
if we lose 5 games in a row, I'm going
Let's
to
check
talk
the
to Red Dead
standings.
Redemption and I'm going to do
Zero.
Yeehaw shit.
to 2.
I don't care.
Some intense competition this round.
Ah!
Next up,
Oh, I hate
we're
Resident Evil.
picking up speed with a payload race.
Now tell me, why do we do this to ourselves?
Now's the time for our teams to work out their strategies.
We love ourselves so much. We need to find something to hate.
Yes. 100%. Yes. Definitely. I love myself so much. Welcome back from us, everyone. Evil sister of my granddad's. And what is that to you? What's a... Be your idol, living in your mind now. Too late,
Only 20
'cause you're
seconds left until we
mine
kick
now.
this round off.
No, can I get to look a little higher? Give me your desire. My great auntie. Okay. We say, tia avó. Tia meaning aunt, and avó meaning granny.
3,
Ah!
2, 1.
No.
And they're off.
They want to fight, huh? Let's give it to them. Carried on the wind. I'm under attack. Shield under fire.
Washed away. Burn bright for me.
Their opponents hit the first checkpoint. Our team needs to fight hard to close the gap.
Draw strength from nature.
I'm a well-oiled high-power machine.
Rally to me.
Why are you doing tank shit instead of our
Rise
tank?
like the sun.
Ouch, that's gonna
Good job.
sting.
Got one here. Cleanse.
Our team has to rally together to
What the
catch
fuck
up.
is this snowball, man?
The opponent clears the halfway point.
Sunlight.
What is our tank doing, man?
I'm hotter than a furnace.
Enemy spotted. The light embraces you.
I'm on fire. Shield buckling.
Burn bright for me. Come to me for heads up.
That's enough of that.
I'm with you.
Our team needs to fight hard to close the gap.
Time to come
Basically,
out of
my
my cave.
Do you guys speak with her?
Hot night.
No. Your day just got made. Let my sunlight. Misery made manifest.
Our team has to rally together to catch up.
A sip for the parched. Can't keep the sun down.
The opposing team has entered the final stretch.
The breeze brings relief.
60 seconds
Prayers
remaining.
are answered.
Bob, do something.
Kanezaka Jinja protects you. Under my protection. I'm here.
It all comes down to this. Our team needs to fight hard to close the gap. And that 30 seconds
Got us
left.
outnumbered.
I licked my wounds. Let's go.
不洗澡。Fucking satellite vector.
10 seconds remaining.
Could have
The
just
score
kicked us
is
out.
0-3.
We only say hello at family events if she finds us. How big is your family? Other than that, we avoid her. Good on you. She sounds like a fucking
Next,
cunt.
It's time for Clash.
She sounds like a well cunt. What TikTok did you send me? Also, I like the phone case.
Time for the teams to gear up.
Oh, can we win a game? What do you think?
I don't think so.
Thanks. Mother, ooh, didn't mean to make you cry. I have no weapon power, never mind. Oh my god, what is wrong with me?
The arena is ready and waiting. 20 seconds to go. It's the match point. Can the
I
team
believe. Do
turn
you
it
believe?
around?
I can feel something about me still.
Commencing attack
I
on
really
objective B.
don't think I need coffee. I really don't think you're strong enough now. Do you believe in love?
The objective unlocks in 10 seconds.
God!
The objective's open.
I feel all Hear my bell. Hey.
No, they lost the point. We're falling back to objective A.
The breeze.
And that's why Zarya Nova's the champion.
Time to come out of my cave.
What is
The
that?
objective goes
What is our
live in
tank
10.
build, man? You could have 3 fucking purples instead of all that.
The sunlight soothes.
The objective is now
The
active.
day just got made.
The endangered species.
Keep an eye out. Be healed. You're all good.
That's an objective secured.
The goddess
We're
is
advancing to objective B.
here. Group up here.
Enemies! Time to fight!
I'm on fire.
10 seconds until the objective's unlocked.
Protecting.
冻住，不许走！
Hey,
The objective's
Get in
online.
there, Bob.
join me. Let my sunlight guide you.
Where am I?
I feel all warm inside. Come here, heads up. Into darkness.
Sorry, Chad, I looked in.
Under my protection.
Огонь по готовности.
Illuminated.
Marking satellite vector.
Not the Ashy, just or Ashy is AFK. That's great. Oh, great.
Protecting.
Bob, do something.
That's a round one.
I think we might disconnect.
Let's check the standings. 1, 2, 3.
Because the game feels off.
From these superstars.
Does it?
Yeah, this
How
last
so?
fight for me felt
Coming up
very
next,
off. I don't know if it
The
felt
teams
slow,
are going head to head
No.
in
but my
control.
latency is fine. It's increasing slightly, but it's not like something that I've never seen before.
I'm always on
But it
40
felt close though.
latency because my internet is shit.
The teams are
Um,
gearing up.
is a
Every
song
choice
suggestion?
is crucial.
Aaron's family is huge. Aaron's son. How did he deal growing up? How is it like? Like the moon needs the stars. Nothing has felt this way inside me. Oh, let's go too far. It's like supernatural, this was personally, but I don't mind at all. It's taking over me, the one to fight the fall. I need coffee after this.
I'm overloading.
Like I have 2 siblings. I don't speak with one of them, but to be honest, I was basically raised as a only daughter because my eldest sibling is 16, 15 years older than me. So
We kick this round off.
he got a job and he left really early as well. He left home when he was like 18, 19, like I did. And then the other one is from my dad's and he lived with his mother. So I would rarely see him. So I don't even know. Frankie's the middle child. No, I'm the youngest.
3, 2,
What did I say?
1.
Did I say youngest? Sorry, my middle sibling. Did I say youngest? I'm sorry. I'm the youngest.
Racing shield.
I have 2 elder siblings.
I'm here. Now go get him.
10 seconds until the objective's unlocked.
Thanks. Enemy here. Under my protection.
The objective's open.
I have 4. Damn. He told me his mom had a home birth with his youngest sister and he was old enough to be traumatized. But oh my god. Jesus Christ. It's not over until it's over. It's never over.
Rise like the sun.
You okay there, Kondu?
No. I'm done with this game.
Purified.
No, you're not. Don't lie to me, please.
Aw, I feel all warm inside.
You just started. At 18, like you found a job, then moved out. I left home at 19. I started working when I was 16 for my mother, and I learned, I studied makeup as well, and I started doing some makeup bits at 15, 16.
On your horizon.
But I started working for my mother at that age, and then I got my first official job at a supermarket when I was 18, and then I left home at 19 when I moved to the UK. God, it's next year is going to be 10 years since I moved to the UK.
My gift to you. Be purified. Your prayers are answered. Let my sunlight guide you.
And yeah, I moved to the UK, and in a month I got a job at Domino. Moved in July, and in August I was hired to work at Domino's. And I stayed at Domino's for 6 months, and then I worked at a restaurant called Roosters. Oh, it's kind of like a Nando's. It's kind of like Nando's, better, I would say, actually. Jesus Christ. Dulce de parlor? What do you mean?
Out with a bang.
Yeah. And then I got a job at Waterstone.
Let's get back to it.
You hate to see it, but the team just couldn't pull through. Keep those chins up. There's always next time.
And then I got Isn't Roosters Murica? Wait, I don't want to.
Let's take a look at this highlight.
Oh my god, there's a Roosters where I live, and I did not know that. Shut up. There's a Roosters where I live. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Not where I live. There's a Roosters in Wales, that's what I mean. And I didn't know. I'm nowhere near. I don't know, but it's kind of like Nando's. Also, I thought that was an American franchise. I don't know. I should know that. I worked for them, but I don't know.
Do you want to try normal com?
Do you want me to hate myself?
I mean, we're already doing it, so might as well do it in normal com.
Sure. Drive score is 0.
Shorter queue time.
I have a drive score of 0.
Same.
Yeah, and after that, when
if you could go into negative, it would be negative.
It would be negative, yeah. And then I got a job where I'm at, which I'm not gonna dox myself for. Sorry, guys, you're not gonna find out. I don't even have a LinkedIn, so good luck finding my employer and sending them all of the videos where I could very well be cancelled for. Good luck. You can try. Yeah, it's been nearly 10 years. It's a bit crazy to think about. Like, to the point that I get a little bit emotional as well. Thinking that it's been...
Select.
What about my song? Okay, wait a second, my love. People can use your link. I don't have LinkedIn. Sorry.
Select your hero.
Don't have it. How can they find it?
Heroes to ban.
Ignore that. I went on TikTok.
Why is our Reaper planning Zarya when we have someone that wants to play Zarya?
I do not know.
Oh. Oh well. Then I'm between the pan Zarya.
Why is
Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
Humanity is shackled. I hold the key.
Are you ever tempted to come get your wife? Afraid she will try to kill you?
I'd be surprised if she didn't.
Good kitty.
Hello there.
Good kitty. Does it bother you that you've taken as many lives as you've saved?
I don't mind killing monsters, but go on. Keep pushing me.
Your wife is dancing.
Oh!
Are you okay?
No. I offer something more. Come here. I'm sorry. Negative.
God. What
She's
have I
got
done
booty
with my...
cheeks out.
She does. Can I zoom in? I wish I had a character that I can... Are you... I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
My aid. Take caution.
Taking damage.
Come to me. Be cautious. Enhancing your vitals.
What the fuck is our Reaper doing?
I know the fabric of the cosmos.
No one can hide from my sight.
Nanoboost administered. Reforming you. Hello. There's a test subject. Big Stangerlat.
Stay on point.
You guys...
Fuck. Never mind.
I'm taking song requests, guys. I'm taking song requests. What can I say?
Nothing but coal for you. I'm working.
Execute them all.
Hello there. You cannot
I
escape
fucked my
me.
ball.
Enemy located. Group up with me. I needed that. My ultimate is ready to be unleashed. Over here. Enhancing your vitals.
Oh my god, what the fuck is he doing here?
Surrender to your mother. My power emanates.
Oh my god.
Scare the crap out of me.
Do something!
I will make you.
Why did you wake him? Oh my god, this fucking Reaper. There you go, you deserve.
Locking satellite vector. Taking damage.
Unassailable.
I'm well fucked.
Yeah, why did you wake him? Says I, who actually woke him up.
You didn't, it was Reaper.
Was it? I thought it was me.
I'm pretty sure it was
No one
Reaper.
can hide from my sight.
I'm stuck in the back
I
line.
see a hostile.
So if you guys could push in for like a solid
Just stay there. We'll get you. I can't think of a song.
Oh my god.
Progress is seldom won with ease.
What's a really crazy song that I could do as Bibble?
Watch here. Receive my aid. Greetings. Repairing your cellular makeup.
I think I might swap to Kiriko. Could do with some heals? I'm 81.
Eyes open now. Keep watch. Easily made.
I'm gonna die. Pitbull? I don't know any Pitbull songs. Like full on, that I could do as Bibble. You don't need to know the lyrics for Bibble though.
Here.
The Eye of Horus watches
No
over me.
opposition is insurmountable.
Ain't worth much just sitting here. Let's move.
I am ready to unleash Come to me. Surrender to your mother.
I cancel that roll. Oh, he's coming for me. No anymore.
Oh.
Great minds are always persecuted.
What else?
This will give us an edge.
30 seconds remaining.
What's the holdup? Get that thing moving.
Such glorious movements. There's a test subject.
Dude, I can't.
I've stepped one.
10 seconds
Enemy located. Transporting the payload.
Administered.
Working satellite vector.
Lending a hand.
I'm avoiding our DPS.
Team kill.
We were doing so well.
Score 1.
This is my deer rank.
Switching sides.
Progress is seldom won with ease.
Kondu, why are you being toxic?
I'm not being toxic, I'm stating a fact.
Shining so bright, strawberry champagne, all nice. Kondu Aura farm? Yeah, he's being toxic.
Humanity is shackled. I hold the key.
Can a fish that never sees the surface know it's underwater?
There it goes.
Can a single
Bad
grain of
conduct.
sand differentiate between heat and
What?
not heat?
It thrills me to put aside my preparations and humor your brilliant inquiries, Doctor. It thrills me.
5, 4,
Kind words.
3.
Thank you.
What does Bibble even say?
Attackers in.
Why are you pushing me?
Objective A.
Misery made
No, that's Animal
manifest.
Crossing.
Enhancing your vitals. The unwound.
The barrier is here.
Fend for themselves.
Teleporter manifested.
Enemy located.
Barrier is splintering.
You cannot escape me.
My barrier is gone.
Eyes open now. No mother's kindness.
I have located the living hostile.
Keep watch.
Teleporter taking cover. My condition is improved.
Loading.
Here for healing.
Barrier cannot withstand much more.
I see a hostile.
Actuating the barrier.
He only uses real words when on the second movie, Remedio, whatever, when he eats a fruit.
My essence has
Like
reformed.
he eats different fruits and he learns how to sing in different styles and speak in different styles. But other like Bibble Bibble, no, he doesn't say words. He says like.
Do something!
Oh shit! I woke him up. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
The Eye of Horus wants to know you.
She's gonna blow!
They will learn
What is his
pain
range
only
now?
Owned by
glimpsed in myth.
exceptionality.
They really need to stop pairing plats with silvers.
There's a test subject. Careful, we're outnumbered.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Hello.
I have a new one. Go for it.
Stop that payload or suffer.
Barrier initialized.
misery made
Replace that
manifest.
fast. Looking for a fly.
Saving your life. A cure for all the ails. Join with me.
Clearing
Team, stop the payload.
Support attack mixer.
Eyes on the target.
Lending a hand.
Enemy contact.
Surrender to your mother.
I've cancelled 3 of these guys' assaults in one
job,
fucking
darling.
match.
You need only
I am
ask
proud of
for
myself.
my
I'm gonna
help.
cry.
Don't
I
cry,
will make
baby.
use of this.
I'll know that's gonna cry. This is my dear rank.
Game.
You sent it.
Eyes open now. I offer something more.
Administered. Getting drowsy.
I am outstanding.
No mother's kindness.
Come here to
What
get
is it
use.
now?
Coming in. I thank
Hello.
you.
Group up. I'm on my way. I must recharge. Hold on. Over there.
Enemy in sight.
The conflict has found us.
Rip is sleeping above it.
Enhancing your vitals. Enemy located. Your end is within my reach. Come to me and I will heal you.
Reality bends to my will.
Eyes open now.
I'm reloading. Oh my god. Fudge.
Bob, do something.
Oh.
Progress is seldom
The
one
payload
that
is
pleases.
approaching its destination. Defeat.
818 is insane. Fuck.
I think that was my last one.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No. But it's
Are you gonna go
early.
I'm not going to do stadium. The queue times are too much for me.
No, but it's early. It's not even 9 o'clock. Yeah, games are not being yet. It's fine. Oh, I'll raid out. I'm sorry, Chad. Games are just not it. And I don't want to play on my own.
I'm fine with playing normal competitive, but I won't do stadium based on the
I
way
didn't
it's
say stadium.
I'm fine with normal one.
Yeah, I didn't say stadium.
Cool.
You just said I was your last one. I'm like,
Yeah,
why
because
you
I thought
hate
you wanted
me?
to go back to stadium. Miss ma'am, you don't want to abandon me.
Okay, I'm going to do Bibble. Actually, it's please, 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 not please, please. Mario Abstrativo. I was gonna say that's a Brazilian guy, but it's not. baby. Bibble if he was on Glee. Do you do weddings? This is not real. How'd you discover this challenge? That's me with Elmo. Hello, Queenie.
Select your hero. Select heroes to
Drop the lyric. How have games been? Chat? How many games have we won? Ball. And I do rank to silver. I'm tired of this grandma.
Does it bother you that you've taken as many lives as you've saved?
I don't mind killing monsters, but go on.
Keep pushing me.
Don't worry, I'll be right
Negative.
behind you.
No.
Thanks, Doc.
La.
I'm gonna throw.
Negative. No. La.
Angel at your shoulder.
You don't want me to go mercy? I'm gonna throw. You win all of them.
Round one.
I'm gonna nano you.
The objective.
On calm?
And this will go smoothly.
I mean, depends on how the
I can fix that.
Thanks for
if the game's going very bad, I'll nano it.
Damage intensified.
Oh, they have a soldier.
Right by you. I'm being attacked. I will not let you fall.
The objective is now active.
Activating healing stream.
Stop them.
Taking the objective. My duty is being done.
I'm reloading.
I see.
They
Hello.
have us
We need
outnumbered.
to fall back and
You call it?
fall back.
Hello.
Come in.
Supplying damage increase.
Correct. Enemy in my sight.
Improving your vitals. Dead one.
Targeting hostile.
I am fully focused. This will help you. Enemy over here.
They have superior numbers.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
I remember this.
Mercy.
Close your eyes.
Not to worry.
Get his ass.
Minor perk unlocked.
Breaking them down. Helping you up.
Thank you, Angela. I slept the target.
I'll make sure that doesn't stop.
Pass into the
I'm
iris.
here to support.
You remember what I said earlier?
You're powered up. Get in there.
I heroes never die.
Helden sterben nicht, verdammt.
I cannot with you, man.
That's teamwork.
Where did you die?
Where was it?
Clear the enemies of the objective.
There's much for you to do. I owe you one.
No one
You
can
worked
hide
out.
from my sight.
I got a point.
I am empowering you.
All they need to see is a magical pew pew when they get all disoriented. Oh my god. This Orisa is running from my LOS.
Oh, good. Mastering you. Watch enemy in front.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
I'm being attacked.
Orisa. Meet your fate.
Enemy over here. Right by you. Let me
I
take
cannot
a
get
look.
forward.
There's one.
Ugh, sorry, Chad. I was locked in.
I've got you in my sights.
Zeit für einen neuen Plan.
You must like me.
Angel at your shoulder. I'll make sure that doesn't stop.
Oh, we're not gonna touch, are we?
Best round lost.
Systems impaired.
Salutations.
Score.
I'm avoiding this Anna.
Excuse you? This Anna was the reason why you managed to fly to point and we captured it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm avoiding you.
Own reward.
Classical archaeology? My favorite!
You're welcome.
I'm joking, by the way.
Someone called the ambulance. Dance, Carmen.
Oh, I missed her.
5,
4, 3, 2.
Humanity is
One.
shackled.
Round
I
2.
hold the key.
Capture the objective.
We can still turn this around. Everyone, focus.
Repairing your cellular makeup. You cannot escape. Group up with me. There's a test subject. Taking hold of the objective. Enhancing your vitals. Enemy slapped here. Taking damage.
Concentrating fire.
Hi, Nono! Como foi o caldo verde? How was dinner?
Time again to try again.
Mercy is so pretty. She is, but I can't play Mercy on this side of the map. It's not a really good map for her.
The enemy's getting back up.
Move here. Keep watch. A sip for the parched.
Damn.
Good looking out.
Succumb to your end. Your mother's minor perk unlocked.
We're outnumbered.
And our tank fell.
Evolution is a painful path to walk.
Finally,
Reinhardt?
choose the fuck. I mean, no, because he voted Reinhardt at the beginning, so we banned Ram.
Oh. Yeah.
And he's not playing Reinhardt since.
Helden sterben nicht.
And he swapped to Orisa, never mind.
I must recharge. Hold on.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Orisa.
Pass into the iris.
Receive my aid. Claiming the objective. Assist me. A sip for the parched.
I am grateful.
I've dealt with cynics before.
Is there a vegan chorizo? Because I would love to have called verde again with chorizo. But
I'm pretty sure Ferniera is vegan.
no, it's not.
Is it not?
It's isn't Ferniera from a pig?
No. Ferniera is made out of farinha.
I've got
Surrender to your mother.
Defeat.
Should have known. Ferniera.
Is like
No, pork.
Play of the game.
And yes, a flour, farinheira, farinha in Portuguese, flour in Portuguese means farinha. And what we're talking about is farinheira. It's pork.
Dance, Carmen.
I heard chorizo. Welcome
oh,
back.
it does have animal fat. Not pork, but it has animal fat. Never mind.
Yeah. So I guess you
It's
can.
mainly flour.
I used to love farinheira. Oh,
Ferniera is amazing.
so good.
With a good cleave. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to unqueue. I'm going to put on a BRB. I need to unwind because this game is fucking killing me tonight. And I'm going to piss girl. And then I'm going to look at vegan farinheiros. And I'll be right back. I'm going to run ads. BRB chat, BRB. Where the fuck is the screen? Oh my god. Oop, wrong screen. Do you guys want to see something really fucking funny? Ah! It looks even worse! Oh! Why do I play this game? Why do I play this game? I'm not good at this game. Welcome back, everyone. Nem o caralho. Oh, I'm not good at this game. I'm terrible at this game. It's so bad. Where's my duo? He's not replying to me. I'm terrible at this game. It's actually insane. I don't know what else they want me to do. What else am I supposed to do? Cry? Girl, you are good. I'm worse. No, you're not. Bingo. Oh, I should have done bingo during stadium. No. It's the queues in normal comp park. Yeah, quick. Bestie, I am not good. I don't. Chat, I'm going to be so honest with you guys. I'm coming to. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to stick to Overwatch because I don't have the time to grind. So I'm falling. I'm going to be so vulnerable. I'm falling behind. I'm getting worse. I'm getting so much worse at the game because I don't have the time to grind. And I hate complaining on stream because I hate complaining like this on stream because you guys are here to be entertained and whatnot. And I don't want to seem whiny, but I just don't have the time to do just to like grind Overwatch. So I just feel like, but at the same time, I grew so much with Overwatch. What's your rank, girl? 7-1 to gold 5. I'm always stuck in this. But I don't have the time to progress and become better. I just don't. Because usually you'll have the time or you'll have the predisposition to play it on stream and then you practice more and do more games off stream. I don't have that. I only play Overwatch during the 2 to 4 hours that I stream. Once twice a week. That's just not enough. Then don't grind Overwatch. It's your stream, you don't have. But I love Overwatch. And then it's the thing, it's easier to grow with if you focus on one game. And I do love Overwatch, the game. I love the game. As much as I complain and whatnot, I can still do that and love the game. I complain because I love the game. Where's Conde? And then it's just I may not seem like it, but I am overly competitive. I can be quite competitive. And then I get frustrated because I don't have the time to become better. So I don't become better. I become worse. And then the stadium queues are 10 minutes long. And chat, it gets to you. Okay, Conde, no worries. Play Fortnite again. Well, Chaperone is coming to Fortnite. And K-Pop Demon Hunters 2.0. Yeah, I agree, Dante. Yes, Queen. I wish I had more time to grind. And I wish a lot of things. I would hope one day to have a lot more time to stream. I really like long streams. I love my 4-hour streams. Without random tanks. Yeah. Where are you, Dante? Dante, hop on. Hop on right now. Yeah, it's becoming a little... I love streaming and I love being here and...
Yada yada.
I was being vulnerable, Conde. you know, when you feel like I want to be entertaining and I want to be good enough at the game. And I know it's not always going to be like that. But it's just... Oh, I appreciate you guys.
Oh! Hello, you've reached customer services. How may I help you
Do you know what's the funniest thing? That was not even a stream of mine. It was cats. It was a cat stream. I feel like I'm still small enough as a content creator that I can freely say these things. I think it gets to a point that it just becomes not cute. And I don't want it to be like that. I'm so harsh on myself. Anyways. Being bad is funny though. No. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to capitalize on it though. I have no idea. Yeah, Dante, where are you, man? Hop on. Why are you not here? Why are you not here? What was that?
Why are you being mean to yourself?
Oh meu Deus, que susto, Zoe. You scared the living shit out of me.
Why are you being mean to yourself?
Ah! It's high noon.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop
okay.
it, Miss Mom. Stop it.
Okay, my love.
You're the best little bean that I've ever seen.
No, I'm not. That's yourself.
You are.
No, you've looked in the mirror, so that's yourself. You've seen
no,
the
I'm
best
actually
bean
lying
ever.
down staring
No,
at the ceiling right now.
Didn't you have a mirror on the ceiling? Was it you?
No.
Who did? I don't remember who did.
Who has a mirror on their ceiling?
Oh, I think it was Paul. He was telling me about
Why the
his
hell has Paul got a mirror on the ceiling?
I think it was Paul. Someone told me this week or last week that they had a ceiling mirror. I don't know. No, he's an old man. Stop that. Leave my friend alone.
I'm not being mean to him. I'm just saying, like that.
Why are we voting Colosseo? Conde? Oh, please, Circuit Royale. Please, please, please. Fuck this shit!
Select your hero.
Yeah, please don't be mean to yourself.
And what are you going to do about it?
We should be pissed off.
Bands.
I don't want you to be pissed off, though.
Squish will be angry if you're mean to yourself.
Oh. Speaking of Squish, I have a surprise for you, but I don't know if you want to do the baby revealing thing.
Oh my god, you got a surprise for me.
I do. It's not complete, but I could show you after the game.
Oh my god. Oh no. Why?
Would you let chat know about Squish's name? It's relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna look
Yeah,
in
they
and
can
then we
know
can do your
that
baby
Squish
shower.
is called... Yeah, they can know that Squish is called Blast Furnace. Good old Blast Pombear Furnace.
What are you talking about?
On my baby name, there was a name that popped up, and it was Blast Furnace.
Blast Furnace.
So I've decided that Squish is going to be called Blast Furnace.
You should name Squish Reinhardt.
Oh, shall I?
Systems calibrated
Yeah.
for maximum
Torbjörn is
cooperative
better.
behavior.
Oh yeah, Torbjörn. Yeah, Torbjörn. Or what's the robot called?
Bastion.
Bastion. I think Squish should be called Bastion.
Bastion.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Can you imagine if they pull on a night out? Come on, Bastion.
What?
I'll give you a Bastion.
I can't imagine those things, Zoe.
but like that's kind of like the route that we've gone down, thinking of names. We're like, right, we can't call them that because of this. Aaron's gone through a lot of trauma with his name.
Who has?
Aaron.
Why?
Because of his middle name, his surname, and he has to spell his first name.
Oh, no, don't dox him, don't dox him.
So,
Well, I personally do not know Squish's name yet, but I think it's a beautiful one. Yeah, I don't know Squish's name, Chad. I thought Zoe was the Blast Furnace. That's her surname.
Wait, I thought Zoe was the Blast.
Zoe Blast Furnace. Milkies.
I am the furnace.
Zoe Blast Furnace Milkies.
Yeah, that's all I came for. I wanted to tell you off for being mean to yourself.
I love you.
Because you shouldn't be mean to yourself. You gotta remember.
I'm trying.
That you've achieved, no.
What have I achieved?
You've
Come
gotta
on,
remember.
gus me up.
You've achieved a lot in this past year. In these past many years.
Have I?
So don't start, you know, kicking yourself down. I mean, you treated yourself to a hetty. That's a big
Yeah, that is my life achievement, is the fact that I got a hetty.
You know, my goal this year was to get a really nice ice cold fruity drink for my birthday. And what did I do? I went and got a nice ice cold fruity drink from Costa for my birthday.
That's true.
So it doesn't have to be, you know, big fancy things to bring happiness in your life. It could be as simple as, I don't know,
The sound of your voice.
I feel all warm inside.
No, tell me why I can't tell my crushes and pull like that.
Make trouble.
No, but you know what I mean. Don't beat yourself up on stuff.
Okay, well the game is about to finish, so you might as well just stay, to be honest.
Oh, okay. It's the little things in life that bring us the most happiness. And if that means that, you know, at the minute with your schedule IRL, you can only stream for, you know, limited time or limited days, then it is what it is. You know, you bring people that pocket of happiness. During those little bits of time and days.
Yeah, whenever I get those messages, it's really sweet.
So
it means a lot.
Hi. No, exactly.
Hi.
So yeah, just please don't be mean. You gotta remember that we'll be here no matter how long you're here for.
Unless I get cancelled for saying shit. What if I what if a man pisses me off and I have to, like, you know, a little bit? Nothing too crazy. But then people are gonna cancel me.
Just don't.
Restoring balance.
Because as a wise person once told me,
who's that?
It was destiny that his kiss would break the dreaded curse. He alone would climb to the highest room of the tallest tower to enter the princess's chambers, cross the room to her sleeping silhouette, pull back the gossamer curtains to find her.
Advancing upward.
Gasp.
Hey there.
Wolf. There you go.
Very nice. Love that. Come on, let's not when these motherfuckers win. The game, we were about to win and then we lost.
An ideal result.
From the sky up like a
Duplicating Ramatra.
My ultimate is almost ready.
As long as no one snitches, we'll be fine. It's not like I post nearly every single VOD. I don't post every VOD. Whenever I say some like really weird shit, I don't post. I don't post the VOD. I'm not going to edit the VOD. I do not have the patience for that.
Yeah, because didn't you not post the one of me and Queen?
No, not with a Bob Ross thing, no. And there was some other shit that I said. And I decided to not go for it. It's nothing bad, it's just weird shit that people will take out of context. I'm like, I don't have to. It was bad enough when people were calling me a femme incel on YouTube and TikTok because of that stupid the Junker Queen video.
Help me. Ahlan.
Who am I going after to
Done
slap?
playing around.
No one. My haters made me lose 22 pounds in the last 6 months, so I'm fine.
Rise like the sun.
Oh, okay, slay.
Oh, it's harmless.
Fucking smack him with a dumbbell. That's what I'd do.
Hi, sunshine.
I need to lock in.
I'll be quiet.
Twitter need no Twitter? I'm not. Did I say Twitter? I'm not on
Rise and
Twitter.
shine. Stop
Other
their
than my
barricade.
secret love and each space account. It's not very secret, but.
Kakaya, your wounds run deep.
I needed that.
Gale the Mahal.
We can win this.
You can do it.
Carried on the wind. Watch here.
Nano boost administered.
Into the iris.
Your day just got made. Soothing
I
your
feel like
wounds.
Queen's just kind of like wiggled into my brain. And then I've now got like blooming random stuff that Queenie would probably say coming out of my mouth now, like blooming Power Rangers.
And the Power Rangers.
Can't keep the sun down.
I want to thank the hater personally. Name drop. There were a few.
Which name stuck out to you?
I don't know. I didn't.
Was
I
there a
just
milk
blocked them.
man?
No, that was just Junker. That was a Junkrat in my other game.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
It's fine. It's fine.
Bastion.
I do care about what people say. That's why I listen to the haters, and I got healthier, and I lost 22 pounds so far.
But don't listen to them all the time.
No, I need. I didn't. It's not about listening to them. I'm joking. For my own health, I need to lose weight.
Remember, don't listen to the haters
Let
all
my
the time.
sunlight guide you.
Some people are just bitter because they got no sugar.
That is true.
Yeah, smack them. Heal them. Pew them.
Milkman. I joined the don't join WC. Nothing wrong. It's just I need to lock in. And if you start singing the song, I can't lock in.
Queenie, join us.
No.
Join us. Join us. Join us.
I need to lock in. It's a comp game, guys.
Okay, I'd be quiet.
No.
No,
Thank you. That's what I meant.
Nano boost administered.
I got the tank out. Careful, he's below.
Got the robot.
30 seconds
Nah.
remaining.
I might have died, but Konda can carry. He is carrying.
A new dawn for you.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm here.
Overtime.
Come out of my cave.
Come on.
Ultimate's charging.
We got 2 ults.
They're taking the lead. Duplicating the master. Circuits engaged.
Meet your
Enemy here. Enemy spotted. What's up?
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Overtime.
What are you thinking of wearing on your date tomorrow?
My pajamas.
Any particular ones?
The
Do they
pink
have
ones?
a pattern on them?
No, they're just pink. They're my pink ones, but I would swap for my pink thing. But like I have a pink shirt, not a shirt. Pink pajamas.
Writing personality.
Oh my god, Queenie, are you wearing pink
With
tomorrow?
my socks. My socks that have like. Wait, I don't want to show you my leg hair. They have. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, they're cute.
Oh. Oh, my legs hurt. Right, okay, let me disable my camera. We're going to do Zoe's baby shower. I don't know if you I think that was my last game. Colin did as well, my love. I can't do this game anymore. Thank you for the game.
God, I'm so excited.
Okay, wait, I need to
Hang
disable
on, let me
my
get a
camera.
snack. I need a snack.
Okay, I'm going to set it up.
need a snack,
Chat.
please.
It's Zoe's baby shower. So what would happen is I already set the color of the light behind me and it's off right now. Wrong camera. We're showing a baby. Wait. Whoa. Okay, so the color is off. We don't know the color behind that other than me. And then
I'm back.
And then we have a little bit of a wee surprise for Zoe that I hopefully get to give her personally. This is my first baby shower. Child, we're so excited. Okay, wait. What song should I put? Wait, Baby by Justin Bieber.
We have the Bibble version.
I don't think there's that on Spotify, darling. Okay, wait.
No.
I could put it on TikTok, I guess. Does he have one? Yeah, he did. Okay, chat, it's Zoe's. Can you hear that? No, you can't because it's not. Oh, fuck. But then you don't see the big screen. Shit. Let me add the audio source.
I'm gonna be showing Aaron this after when he comes home, and he'll be like, "The Bibble version. Who the hell's Bibble?
Who the hell is Bibble?
What is a
Did it
Bibble?"
add? Frida Boom, okay? So we will be finding out the gender of Squish. Squish's gender. Are we excited? I'm very excited. And then we have a bit of a wee surprise for Zoe. Okay, are we ready, chat? Are we ready to throw the cake?
I got the gender of my child.
Oh my god, so you're gonna find out the gender of your child! Okay. Let me get a countdown, Zoe.
From them. From what?
You do the countdown. Wait, before, can you guys hear Zoe? Can you guys hear Zoe? Yes, cool. Okay, countdown.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's a girl! It's a girl! Yeah! It's a little Squish girl! No, that's right! My love, I got you a wee little surprise. That is not finished, but it's the main part of the present. question,
Oh, hi,
guys.
Dwayne.
Is this a bad time? We're about to reveal. I mean, are you okay with revealing Squish's name?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dante. Okay? Okay, you're comfortable. Okay, so I got you a bit of a wee present that I think would look great with the core that you have going on. And it's not finished, I will add a couple more things inside. But I think you're going to love this because it has Squish's name on. It's a little bit of a wee basket that you can use for your room. And it will have things inside. And then Squish's name is on the front with a little frog.
Oh, stop it!
It's Ezra.
Oh my god, the frog!
And that's
oh, stop! My eyes are going.
It says me. I love the name Zoe. It's such a beautiful name. Happy, 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 happy.
Stop it, because you've made my eyes wet. You've made my eyes wet, and I don't want to cry on stream.
You can't cry. It's like it's a little frog.
No, I'm not crying on
I
stream.
did look for a penguin, but it was not an option. It was not an option. And it's
the little frog is so cute.
I love this for you. It's very cute. Very, you can do whatever with it.
I'm intrigued.
Intrigued about what?
I was intrigued because he was holding it as if he was hiding something inside. I was thinking, what are you hiding?
Yeah, there will be a couple. That's why I was. It was why I was asking you if you were going to use heat pads and other things and what chocolates you like or sweets you like, because it's kind of like a baby. You know how you go to a baby shower and you offer a basket to someone with like things that they need.
Is that why you was asking what chocolate and sweets I like?
Maybe.
You was just being really nice. I wanted to know.
I am being nice. What does that mean? I am being nice. I hope you love it, Zoe, and I can't wait to meet you to give you your present.
Sweet.
No, thank you for letting me reveal Esme's gender and name on stream.
Esme,
like Twilight.
Esme.
Sorry to bring you, but it is like Twilight. Which I love. It's one of my favorite books. Are you happy, Zoe, with
I am, thank you.
This new chapter? No, I mean just this new chapter. It's okay. I love you.
I love you.
Stop.
Oh, you're too good.
No, I'm not, baby.
You're too good.
You're such an integral part of stream. Thank you for sharing it with us. I think everyone loves you very much. I'm sure that everyone loves you very much and also appreciates. Can we get a W in chat for Zoe?
If anyone's watching your stream right now who isn't following you, I am going to ban you if you don't follow right now, so follow her.
What are you talking? Why are you being mean?
Because you're being really nice to me and I need to balance this out with anger. So I'm going to target the people who aren't following you.
God's sake. I'm so excited for this new chapter. I know how much you wanted this, and it's very sweet that you let the community, not just mine, but everyone around, know about this.
And you were the first person who I sent the video to this week.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, baby, I love you. Thank you for giving me that honor.
Even our family haven't heard it yet.
That's crazy. I love you.
I love you.
Wait, I am following you. All right, Dwayne. Queen is saying we are your family.
Can we time out Dwayne just for the hell of it for that?
You are the mod. You are the mod. Oh, you can't do it, can you?
I can't do it. I have to be an owner.
An owner?
It's just the cheek of the try me. Like
try me?
No, he said try me.
And you said try me?
What? What are
It's
you
your
going on
accent.
about? Oh,
It's lovely.
yeah. Can we? Squish thinks it'd be an excellent idea to do it.
Wait, what?
Squish said it'll be an excellent idea.
I swear, you and I talked about this. I swear it's going to she will be born and you're still going to be calling her Squish.
Yeah, I know. It's because she's my little squishy.
What's even the point of being a head mod if and it's literally why I made you two head mods so you guys could fight with each other.
Actually, Dwayne, I've done my research on lead moderators and what they can do. And we actually do have some power. But, you know, guessing that you haven't researched it yet. You know.
You're being
Have you
mean to Dwayne.
researched
This is
yet, Dwayne?
sexy.
What, me?
Yeah.
What? What, fighting with Dwayne?
Yeah. I kind of
Oh.
like it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to read out if that's okay.
No.
Oh.
You stay. You must stay.
Bingo. I've got other plans, my love. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Also, Dwayne, you can we can delete mod comments, so you know how we were like being horrible to Fosserbot. If you put a comment on it, like a mod comment, I could delete your mod comment. That's what we can do.
Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for sharing this moment, Zoe.
No, thank you for organising it, my love.
Organizing it was a spur of the
like
moment.
No, it wasn't. You've been excited about doing this stuff for ages.
I know, but it's not fully finished, and I don't think it'll be finished until the end of the month because I'm waiting on some orders.
And I'll be here growing.
You are growing. A baby.
Yeah, I'll be here waddling around.
Zoe, this one's for you. Oh, it didn't work. Hold up. It didn't work.
This one's for you.
This one's for you. It didn't work. Okay, hold
is
up.
for
Here we
you.
go.
You know that I do that. You love that I do that. You know my weakness is you.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you,
I love
Recti.
that little alert. It makes me feel all squishy.
Thank you again, Zoe. I love you.
No,
and Condito, thank you for the games.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to leave now just to wrap up stream. But Zoe, honestly, thank you so much for sharing this with chat.
No, thank you.
Bye, Condo. He didn't even say bye.
No, he didn't say bye. Rude.
He didn't even say bye.
I'll let you finish your stream.
I love you. I'll see you on the other side.
Yes, I'll see you soon.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
She's so sweet. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Honestly, Zoe, thank you so much for being so comfortable with the community and to share this. It's a beautiful moment that we are all very excited to witness you go through. I love you. And I can't wait. My eyes are no wet eyes. No wet eyes. Only something. I'm not gonna finish that. Not gonna finish that. That was cringe. I hope you like the basket. I hope you love the basket just as much as I love you. And it's going to be a little Esme. I genuinely love the name Esme. It's such a beautiful name. And it's not very common. I don't think so. It's beautiful. I love it. And I love it. Yo! Love you. Only wet. Aye. Chat, thank you so much for being here. We won a total of 1 game. But we know who the true winner is. And that is Zoe and Squish. They are the true winners of tonight. And deserved. I couldn't find one that I like, but that one's perfect. Yay! Oh my god, that is huge. That is, oh, I'm so glad. It's not a huge basket, but I think it's well sized, you know? I think it will do the job just fine. Thanks for the amazing stream today. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I loved being back. Sorry for the... No, sorry. Thank you for hearing me rant. Shout out to Zoe B24. I know that's right. It'll be perfect, just like you and Squish. For our yeehaw date, I'll drop you a message in just a second. Okay, should we raid Astronomix? I haven't seen her in a hot minute. I haven't seen Astronomix in a hot minute. This was a very exciting stream. I'm very, very happy for Zoe and Aaron and Esme. Little Esme. Squish has a name, y'all. Squish has a name, y'all. That's crazy. Thank you, Gun, for joining the games. I'm sorry I couldn't carry you, my love. You always carrying me in the games. Thank you, y'all. Have a lovely night. Please join me in raiding Astronomic. She's absolutely lovely, and she's also doing Stadium. She's genuinely sweet, and I miss her streams. I miss lurking in the streams. So you're a little Esme. Ah! Oh my god, she's half baked too. Little Esme is half baked too. Stay safe, keep others safe, and never forget, another day, another Zoe, Aaron, and Esme slay. I know that's right. I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. Peace out. Bye-bye.